Good morning, everyone. Good morning, chat. We are live now. I'll get the video up here in a second. We are live now with the Value Vintage MTGO tournament that we are running through here. Uh, I'm here with Doot, Unruly
What's up?
Doot, Scrambled Doot. We'll call him Doot though for the purpose of the stream. But what we have today is we're running a Value Vintage MTGO tournament. So these are the uh, paper Value Vintage $30 lists. It's the vintage ban list, but it is no other restrictions outside of that your deck has to be $30 or less in paper. Um, we've got some really sweet lists today. There's a lot of slower and control decks, but we do have a couple of combo decks that are present. We have 14 players. We did have a couple that we had to drop, but we're going to be playing 4 rounds. In these rounds, after that, we'll have a cut to top 8, and we actually have cash prizes for the top 4 after the top 8 cut. So, dude, let's talk about these decks that we're going to be watching in this first match.
Yeah, so first round we're gonna see a really sick experimental list. Preston, Nighttime Extreme in the Discord is pretty renowned for brewing the most batshit crazy piles and then having them really work out. He was one of the people who really started working on the Demir Luris Basim deck, and now is bringing Oswald Fiddlebender Artifact Midrange to the tournament. And his opponent is going to be playing Bantrek, just a staple of the format. If anyone's familiar with blue-white control, this is kind of like our version in the format. It's probably the best control variant that the format has ever seen. It's a bank control deck that uses Wilderness Reclamation to untap its lands, accrue massive mana advantage, and use the clue lands from Murders of Karlov Manor to just really accumulate a ton of card advantage and eventually just slow the game down and win the game with an active Shorekai or a Castle Ardenvale. I've seen some lists running no list running torrential gear hulks. That's a little sad for me, but um yeah, it's kind of dealer's choice with whatever finisher you win with. I know Mitchell, one of the big pioneers of the archetype, is really high on locking people out with the War of the Spark Tameo and Cryptic Command. So it'll be interesting to see how the deck adapts to the timed matches. But yeah, it should be a really interesting game.
All right, so now we have we're set up in the match now. So I'm curious on when these decks are playing, who has the edge, because although we have a basically like a birthing pod combo style deck, do we actually have a combo in the Oswald deck, or is it just all
I don't
value?
I don't think we do. I think it's just pure value.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's what I'm curious on. I'm gonna have to buzz through the list real quick.
yeah, looking at the list, it looks like it's just pure value. Um, really interestingly, there's going to be some tension between both sides are going to have dead wraths in their deck. Um, the Oswald list is a lot more control focused than I thought. I mean, obviously, I think the big inflection point is
Oh
if this
wow.
Oswald that's getting put on the stack is going to be able to stick around for more than a turn or two. Because if Preston can get an activation of this Oswald off, and just start going up the chain here, like even at 2, he's fetching Cockworker's Puzzle Knot, Winning Invitation, Filigree Silex, nothing crazy. But then when you get to 3, oh no, there is a combo actually. He's playing a Basalt Monolith in the main,
Oh
so
yeah,
he can
so
make
he's got
infinite
the
mana
one
with it.
Zerta. He's got the Zerta with the Basalt Monolith to
Yeah,
get the infinite mana.
and then
He actually has that set up right now because one of his outlets is actually Crawling Barrens. You make infinite mana, make it a huge
yeah.
land, and then you actually don't have to attack with it immediately. You could just load up with counters, and
Mhm.
then just go to town from there.
Yeah, that combo is going to be a legitimate threat in this matchup because if if there's no swords and the swords presumably going to be getting used on these Oswalds a lot, um, then that Crawling Barrens is just like there's not a whole lot of chump blockers in this Barak deck unless they can set up like a Shorakai or a Castle Armvale. So I think there's got to be a lot of respect placed on on these Crawling Barrens in this matchup.
Yeah, I
I
have
did also
to.
notice that he's casting a stock up. I'm really interested in this card. I don't know how good it actually is in the format. I think it's good. Like it reads good. It's a like a powerful card. I know actual vintage is playing it. Um, I just don't know where I'm playing it. It reads like a combo card. So it's interesting to see it in this. I mean, I guess it makes sense in this Oswald deck because it's kind of like a tap out deck.
Yeah, I think
Um,
your more mid-range blue decks would be interested in it.
mhm.
What I think is pretty sweet right here, and I'm curious to see what he finds, but he plays the hover ship for no value just to be able to pot it away immediately.
Mhm.
So my question is going to be, what exactly are we finding here?
It looks like his only 4 is Brea.
Oh
Oh,
no,
no, he's
no,
got
no,
Saradox.
he has tome. That's right.
Okay, he's got Saradox. Yeah. No, that's wow, that's really big, yeah.
So this is one piece of value vintage that for anyone who's played Legacy or Vintage before, the initiative mechanic, it's pretty powerful in this format, but you typically play a little bit more on the board. Because of that, you can actually fight over the initiative. Sometimes you see some cheap evasive creatures to be able to do that. What's interesting here, though, is in a heads-up play is he's playing this for no value to be able to set up the initiative. And eventually, what he'll be able to do is if he's not able to take back the initiative from the Bant Rec player side, he'll be able to start casting cards for free off the top of his deck.
Yeah. Turns out, initiative is good. Who would have thought?
Yeah,
And
initiative's
even
good.
in this, like, even in this, like, creature-like deck, like, going down this path oh, he's going down the slower path. That's interesting. I guess it makes sense because you can still do stash and then make a 4/1, and the stash is good because you can Oswald it into a 1. But then the ones we're getting are like Soul Guide, Arkham's Astrolabe. Oh no, he can make a treasure and then Oswald the treasure into Retrofitter, which is also a Zerta
Retrofitter's good,
combo.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Another piece too
Because
at the
like,
Undercity, when you look at the actual dungeon, the left side is typically the more common one when it comes to the initiative lists, just because those decks are more aggressive. However, this one, especially with a colonnade on the other side of the field, he's probably going to want to get more value out of his Undercity because he's not going to want to attack with Oswald, so he doesn't want to put the counters on it. Um, Meanwhile, he could end up making the tokens. What's the next step? Getting the treasure, to your point, plotting away that for a retrofitter. So it's got
and
some
then
good lines.
the Retrofitter is just gonna like take over this game one.
Right.
Because I don't know that Bantrek really has like a clean answer to Retrofitter game one. Game two, they can bring in Disenchants, which I think is what I think this Banner player is going to do here is like they're just going to bring in. I don't remember what the disenchant of choice is, but oh no, we're just making a servo and then making the retrofitter right now. I think unless he chooses
He's sacking the
sack.
tome.
Oh, dissection tools. This card apparently has been like an all star in standard. Has been an all star in standard recently. It just makes like a 4/4 death touch lifelinker, and then against aggressive decks, you can like sacrifice an idiot to re-equip it to something, and it makes it such a wall. It's
I
just a
have never
really
seen this card in my life.
yeah, it's not a common one. Oh
Oh,
god. Entreat off the rip, not even setting it up with the brain surge. Holy crap.
that's
Alright, well.
pretty. That's pretty good. So now,
Mhm.
couple things going on here. One, you're able to take the initiative back from your
Mhm.
opponent. He doesn't have a way to block the flyers, right? Second off, he is going to end up tapping out. So this does open up a window for the Oswald player to be able
Mhm.
to potentially combo off. I mean, one thing that I know that I'm not sure. I don't know the actual mana line. I wanted to see this deck early because I'm not gonna have the brain power later to talk through the lines.
Yeah.
But there's a window I think here where you could like pot away your puzzle knot, get your monolith, and then to see if the mana to like pick up Zerta and start doing that thing.
No, he would need 7 mana. If the Soul Ring from earlier had resolved, then he would have the mana to do all of that. But it doesn't look like we're going to be hitting the 7 mana needed to pay 3 for Zerta, pay 3 to cast Zerta, and then pay 1 to pod the puzzle knot into the basalt.
I'm gonna have to check to
Tapping all out.
see. Is there? I'm trying to look to see if there's any other like one that does anything to help
Um,
out. I don't think there is.
yeah, I think he's kind of.
Oh, he gets a
I,
treasure token.
yeah, he gets a treasure, which is interesting.
So he could play
Um,
land. He'd have 7 mana then.
oh yeah, that's so true. You're so right. If he has a land, then he can do it.
This is interesting. This is pretty crazy.
Yeah, because then it's really interesting because if he gets the basalt combo online and makes this crawling barons enormous, then it kind of braces Bantrack into hitting the. Oh, yep, he's got the land. Oh no, because you can tap the monolith to pay for the buying of Zerta. And then wait, you're still a mana short though. Okay, never mind. Wait, I pogged out and I'm no longer pogging
I'm
out.
pogged out.
um, yeah, he's gonna be a mana short, I think, unless he just like is doing this and then plays the land after
Well, no,
for
because
the
he could.
sequencing.
Remember, it's
Oh,
cheaper now.
mm-hmm. I forget that Zerta and Basalt Monolith is like really good. Oh yeah, this is
So
really good. Now he's forcing the issue. Like he's gonna activate this crawling barons infinite times and then attack with it, which is gonna force a block with the angel, and then the Banner player has to keep the other angel back in order to block, or else they die.
yeah, this will be now. Granted, the one thing, the Banrek player has 5 cards in hand. Could
Yeah,
be a
how do
Swords to
you do that?
Plowshares, but
Yeah.
this turn, what he can do, like to your point, we can grow the Barons to be huge. We can force one of the Angels to not be able to block, get in for 5, and the Crawling Barons. So the creature won't be able. The creature's going to have to block the Crawling Barons, one of the Angels. But the
Actually,
manifest
having
in this.
go ahead.
Well, no, I was just going to say there's going to be an extra 5 damage just coming through. So he's putting a lot of
Yeah,
pressure on, but
yeah. I also just realized that blocking with the angel token this turn doesn't even save him because next turn, if he doesn't have a wrath or another creature, you can activate Zerta to make the other angel token not able to block.
right.
Because that's a lot of tech Zerta has.
Yeah, so he
Cool.
basically needs to be able to swords this crawling barons next turn.
Yeah,
Because if he makes it
yeah.
large enough, he's not going to be able to if he makes it large enough, then he's not going to be able to just sit back in wrath because he's not going to have an
Mm.
answer for the crawling barons. It'll just be a one-shot kill.
Oh, because it stops being a creature at end of turn.
Yeah,
Oh, I
it's
thought.
just straight up like a
Yeah.
man land. It's just a normal man land.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So the out is like exactly swords. Hmm. I mean, like ripping a terminus definitely would help here. um, Another entreat also like maybe helps. It slows down the death. Oh yeah, equipping the crawling barons with the section tools. Yeah, that's real good.
Okay, so he's not dying anytime soon.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, we did mess up that line a little bit. It doesn't really matter this turn because he's still losing an angel, but the Zerta has summoning sickness, so he can't force the creature not to block.
Yeah, yeah. I was saying next turn. Like this is Barek's last turn here.
Right, right.
Like either because of the crawling barons and the Zerd activation, or because he just doesn't have a swords for the barons on his turn. Um, hmm. But this Oswald deck looks so cool.
Yeah,
I'm
so
I'm such a fan. I'm such a fan of toolbox decks like this.
this looks like a brain surge to find the swords.
Yeah, we're just frantically digging here, seeing if there's anything we can find. Because Barek plays Razorgrass, and not even Razorgrass doesn't do it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this is interesting. So this signals to me that he either has a swords, or he's stacked a Terminus on top of his deck and has an instant speed way to draw a card.
Well, the problem though is that the Undercity is a forced search,
Oh,
so
yeah, it
he
will
can't set
shuffle. Okay,
that play
so
up.
So it's not Terminus. Yeah.
So
Okay, so he's
there's three
got to have this.
swords, two Path to Exile in the deck
Hmm.
that can answer this. But outside of that, he could try to kind of one time. Well, actually, no. There's no. I'm looking. He could cycle a Shark Typhoon and hope to hit a Terminus. There's no
That would
like
be.
one mana cantrips to be able to hit, so
Hmm.
has to have something here though.
Yeah. I assume he has a removal spell.
Oh, Blessed Respite. That's
Oh,
also
that
another option.
also does it. Yeah.
Yeah,
It like it helps the problem, but it doesn't solve it. Because next turn, I mean, next turn he's probably just going to go down the Lost Well and scry some more, and then like see what happens. So yeah, we're gonna probably make this Crawling Barrens even bigger because why not? I mean, you also just have infinite colorless mana, which is obviously ridiculous, but like you can basically cast a bunch of spells. So I wonder if there's a way that he can like use like some astrolabes or something else to just like chain some spells and get deeper in the deck. I wonder if that's what we're doing.
yeah, because I'm looking. There's no actual. There's only three Swords to Plowshares for instance in the main deck. Um.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Yeah. Okay, so we're doing this. Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, yeah. Because now all of the abilities of Retrofitter are 1 mana because of Zerta. So, yeah, this
So
is gonna
what?
be a lot of guys. This is a
Yeah,
lot of guys.
this is crazy. This is a crazy. Like I said, I wanted to show
I
this first because going through all the lines and everything was going to be well too much for me later on.
I I love this Oswald deck already. I
No,
love
it's
this shit. I love this deck. Holy shit.
like I'm sure in paper this is fantastic to be like I'm gonna do this a whole bunch. I'm gonna do this a whole bunch.
Hmm.
The one
On
thing,
Moto, yeah, it's extremely click intensive.
well, because the other thing you have to keep in mind, like this is game one. Look at the clocks.
Hmm.
Like we've already gone through 9 minutes on the Oswald side, just
Hmm.
because of the all the different lines. And
Yeah.
you probably wouldn't think that when you're sitting across from the Bant Rec player that they're actually like I'm doing pretty good on time.
Yeah. Normally, Betrek is the deck that's making things go down and like having their timer be an issue, but here it's like nope. When you're doing Berserk of Assault Monolith, oh, the spring-loaded saw blades.
Wow.
Hell yeah, you're an angel. All right, so we're gonna go to Lost Well here.
So there's a couple different things that can go on here. If they have another blessed respite, then they're fine. However,
Mhm.
if not, they either need to dig for one or they need to wrath here.
Yep. They need to have exactly. Even then, they need Wrath plus a swords, because then you just activate the Crawling Barrens, and then it's GG's. So, this looks like something though. A wreck. That's definitely good.
Yeah, that's a pretty good draw. 3 mana for a Brain Surge. Okay. I think there's two copies of Entreat in this deck.
Hmm.
The one was already shuffled back in from the first respite, but
Yeah.
outside of that, let's see. They're gonna untap 6 cards in hand. Both players still have a ton of cards in hand.
Hmm. Yeah. The turn two Oswald really just kind of formed the centerpiece of the game plan for this deck, and um, I mean, yeah, when you're using when you're using cards in your library as your spells instead of cards in your hand, it definitely leads you to have a lot of resources still banked up in case there is a rat. It's crazy how not even like activate colonnade block the crawling baron saves him here. Is it like it's still they said still that line still just loses to the Zerta activation. Why does Zerta have so much goddamn text on it and all of it is good?
I think something that's telegraphed here is that the rec player doesn't have a swords or a path
Yeah.
because at the first, well, I guess it doesn't matter. He still has mana up to untap the basalt monolith with the lands.
Hmm.
So I guess a swords isn't out of the question.
I'm surprised we didn't see Instep activating the Retrofitter Foundry to turn the Thopters into constructs.
Was it untapped?
I think it was. But even then, like if the Basalt was ended up untapped, then like there's your mana to activate Retrofitter anyway.
Right. Yeah, this is gonna be man. What this is a crazy match. Like
It's
this
already
is
an insane game one, yeah.
yeah. That's what I was about to say. Reminder: this is game one. Like
Yeah. Game two, I don't know how who's like favorite game two either. It depends on sideboard tools. So looking at the sideboard, the Oswald list picks up. I think the biggest things it picks up are potentially disenchants and metallic rebukes, and then obviously getting to cut the wrath. I
I don't
think I
I don't
think honestly,
know
I think you're the in this matchup.
I don't know if you would want the disenchants. I know it's really important for tagging the wilderness
Mhm.
wreck, but outside of that, I don't think you want to convolute your list. I think you want to do exactly what you did this game and set up your
Yeah.
Fiddlebender into one of your impactful mid-range pieces. So
Hmm.
if you end up drawing the disenchants, I mean, I know that there are some dead cards in the swords and the depopulate, so maybe it's not incorrect.
Hmm.
I think maybe two would be fine. We got a Brea.
The Bray is at the table.
Wait, doesn't this
Oh,
deal?
yeah, it kills. Yeah, no, this kills.
Oh
Yeah,
my
because
gosh,
he can sacrifice two Thopters to bolt him 6 times. That's that's incredible.
he still just dies though, right? Like he's trying to
Yeah,
swords here, but he'll still just die.
yeah, he just dies. He just dies on the stack.
Oh my god, that's insane. That's
Oh
insane.
my
Though because it's a one of Brea, right? Yeah,
god, one of.
the one of Brea. Wow,
Oh my word, that's hilarious. I love this format.
that's incredible. That's an incredible
That's
line.
that's so crazy. Um, I think yeah, okay, there's the concession. So
Nice.
I think game two actually, I think we actually bring in the other filigree Silex out of the board in place of one of the board wipes because the filigree Silex is a thing that can like stack up to kill Wilderness Rack, but also like it's a 2-drop artifact that can also pop a bunch of tokens at once if that wreck can like get ahead and goes Y with an entreat or something. So I think that comes in. I think the rebukes come in, and then hmm, maybe like a disenchant or two, or maybe it's just the lantern of the lost.
I think I think that in my opinion, if I was the shops player, I'm cutting these depopulates, I'm cutting the
Hmm.
swords, and I'm probably I'm on the fence about this balance, but I could
No,
I
I'm cutting the balance. I'm cutting the balance.
so in that case, then we're bringing the rebukes and then probably just disenchants for the rest. Silax isn't bad. I think it's just more of a control-y card in a matchup where you want to be
Mhm.
doing your thing. From the other side of
Yeah,
things, from the Bant Rec player, he's got some really good things in the list. So first off, Energy Flux in the board.
yeah. I mean,
That
Eflux.
seems really
Yeah,
good.
Eflux is insane. Yeah,
Croson Grip, I also think is going to be a really big option as well because it can
K
stop
grip.
the combo.
Yeah, K grips are a bastard. That card is such a bastard.
Yeah, outside of that, I think the rest of the list is fine. I think that it's really just going to come down to the shops player being able to set up their kind of combo lines, and whenever the Bant Rec player was forced to kind of tap down to find answers, that's whenever they're going to be able to succeed. So they really need to make sure that they can deal with the early Oswald or even a Basalt Monolith that comes down natural if he's able to find it. That's another line that you got to be aware of. Sometimes they'll just play
Yeah.
the artifacts.
Hmm. I think the big thing is, can we land a turn two Oswald? If we can land turn two Oswald, then we're going to be good. But if not, then this game becomes a lot more real.
Yeah, that's what you have to remember too. That was just a turn two Oswald. Like that
Yeah.
that is what took oh man, we're in the kitchen. We're in the kitchen cooking right now.
Are we cooking? Who up cooking?
Okay, interesting. So he does bring in the Land of the Lost. That was a card that I wasn't
Yeah,
sure if we were going to see.
I think it's a card that's less dead. It's a one drop artifact. You can pot it away, and like Barrack's Graveyard is like kind of relevant,
Okay,
for
hold
flipping
up.
like
I just
spells.
noticed this. I was trying to figure out why we were main phasing this planar Genesis. Look at the cards in hand.
Oh, that's a
What
mold of 5. That's a mold of
I
5.
was gonna say, what was this? Was this a Malta 5? It was a Malta 4.
Oh, pain and suffering.
We have a Sky Seer's Chariot, new card.
Interesting that got kept in. Honestly, I'm surprised that stayed in.
I do kind of like it because it does tag.
Time.
Yeah, it
Hilarious.
does tag a lot of the removal or any of the board wipes, so
Yeah.
I don't hate it. Just being able to pod for it, I think gives a lot of value.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess certain decks, it's very strong. I guess.
Okay, Wilderness Wreck is set up now.
Yeah.
How much is this to crew? 2 to crew? Okay.
Yes, 2 to crew. Teferi is like a neat blind name. Unfortunately, it is a complete miss against this Barrack configuration. um, I think that is like Teferi is a reasonable card to name. Oh, Tinker. Oh, this is gonna eat a loose focus, but like this would be the hottest Tinker of all time if it resolves.
What are we tinkering here for? Is the question. Probably a tome.
Yeah, probably its home.
Maybe a monolith if he wants to go that route, but
Hmm. Yeah, it looks like there's no the Barrack's only creature that they have other than the entreats is the Kahira sideboard and then a colonnade. And then also they're playing a V2 Ghazi the City Tree.
I did see
And
that.
also yeah, so we're playing four lands that make tokens, which is kind of crazy. The fact they're playing V2 Ghazi in a 3-color deck, like that's kind of risky. Wait,
So
the Tinker resolved? Wait, the Tinker resolved? Huh? Okay,
so
so we're just going full combo here. Like if we're just making them happen, I guess.
yeah, so one of the things that the actual like modern lists play whenever it comes down to uh some of their win conditions is they'll normally play a Castle Ardenvale and just make one
Hmm.
ones just as blockers or eventually just the threats. So I think that that's the role that V2 Gauss is playing in this list because it is very very cheap.
Yeah, I guess just backup copies of Castle Ardenvale is fine. But even then, like Castle Ardenvale's 16 cents. Like it's not that much more expensive. It's like
Hmm.
10 cents more expensive. Okay, yeah, we just got the tome here. Oh, we just had the tome.
Yeah, no, these have been really really good draws
Hmm.
on the pod players end. Now, granted,
For
they're not
sure.
the rec player. They're not in the worst spot. I know that sounds crazy, but they have a rec set up. It seems like
Hmm.
their draws are favoring them, and even if they weren't, they have the kitchen.
Yeah. Brain Surgeon and Memory Deluge with 2 clue lands in play is like exactly the kind of thing you need to take you out of a mulligan, especially when your opponent is presenting near lethal. Oh, that is a brutal rebuke here. Wow,
Yeah,
that's
I almost it's actually I think if they float the mana first and then untap all the lands to go for it,
yeah,
they're able to pay for it there, which is pretty unfortunate.
yeah. But then they'd be like, or they wouldn't be like totally tapped. Yeah. So did we see Oswald buy the Zerta with the monolith yet? I think we saw that, but I'm not sure.
I don't know if we did.
Um.
No, I'm not seeing it.
Okay.
So Zerta's still in the companion zone.
Okay.
Oh, they
How do you
did pick it
see
up.
that? Oh, there we go. Never mind. Yeah, I was gonna say I think that's what the basalt got tapped to do. Actually, yeah, it
Must
looks
have
like we're
glazed
just
over it in the log.
oh K grip? Yeah, K grip the monolith.
Nice.
All right, we got a game. K grip also like the best disenchant ever against basalt monolith combos because you can't just untap it in response. It's like no, that thing is dying. That thing is dead. Period.
So we're not going to be able to just go completely off, but
Yeah.
they will be able to, start converting any of this excess mana into the retrofitter.
Hmm.
I think the other
Yeah. Like
tough piece is there's only one white mana with study also, so you're gonna have to kind of be careful on how you play your white cards.
yeah. Especially also not having the double white for something like an oh there we go. There's the white mana in a turn though. Not yeah. I was gonna say not having double white for like entreats or wrath is pretty big because I think the wrath got kept in because like at the end of the day like so Oswald's doing silly bullshit with artifacts, but at the end of the day, they're still turning sideways with creatures. Oh, that's a path. We have a second rebuke. Looks like we got second rebuke. He's tapping artifacts for it. Yep.
Jeez.
Damn.
There might be a response. Okay, I was
No.
sometimes Moto the way that it shows the waiting on.
Hmm.
Sometimes I think that it's somebody responding, and instead it's just them being like, pay the 3 mana when you can't.
Yeah. Oh, actually in kitchen. Interesting. I was thinking like we're seeing a float mana into flashback deluge, but I guess yeah, I guess this leaves their options more open. So probably telegraphing a lose focus they want to keep up. That's my guess at least. Because why would they tap out of because they could have just went for like the deluge, but then they would only have 2 mana up, and with the mana that Although has access to, I think we're just seeing the lose focus. I think there's a lose focus in hand.
I gotta be honest with you. I thought Zerta had vigilance this whole time. This is the first time I've ever seen a Zerta actually attack. So
Yeah.
I'm looking. I'm like, why is this tapped? It just doesn't have. It has all that text that I lost that it didn't have vigilance.
Thinking that cards from Ikoria have more text than they do is a completely understandable thing to make. It's a
Yeah.
completely understandable thing to make.
So for every 1 mana, we get to do. So all of the Retrofitter Foundry's abilities are 1 mana then at this point with Zerta in play.
So we
So
can do one to make a servo, one to untap, one to make a thopter, one to untap. So we're basically just paying every 3 mana makes a 4/4.
we can make two 4/4s and I think a 1/1 then a 1/1 flyer this turn.
Yeah, that looks like math to me. There's a treasure here too, so we could potentially make. Yeah, yeah. So it looks like two constructs and a thopter.
What's interesting though is with this Castle Ardenvale in play. Oh wait, okay, no, he does have double white. Yeah, with the Castle
Hmm.
Ardenvale in play, he is going to be able to block the 4/4s for a couple turns if that's the line he wants to
Hmm.
take.
Yeah, the Ardenvale is a big pickup here. Just spinning our wheels. Man, we must have had the Bannock player must have had some really bad draws in order for making a clue token main phase to be the
I
line.
think I think the main part of it is honestly just I started this game with 3 cards in my hand.
Yeah, that's so real. Yep, definitely been there before.
Yeah, like I don't know what the rest of the cards were, the rest of the hands, but
Hmm.
yeah, at this point, I think you need to find a Croson Grip or one of your energy fluxes to try to answer the not just the Retrofitter Foundry, but the energy flux to answer some of the other artifacts.
Yeah, yeah, like a flux here. If a flux is basically a wrath. Like it's not actually. It doesn't say destroy all creatures. It doesn't say destroy all on it, but it basically does. Because then like Oswald's paying for probably 3 things, which is like it cleans up the. He probably just pays 2 for the retrofitter, and then like lets everything else die. Maybe the Saravox tome sticks around, but yeah, no, we're just going in the red zone here. Make a guy block a servo. Oh, Respite. Respite's a good hit here, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like worst comes to worst. Uh, if he is presenting a ton of tokens, he can't just go for the respite. The pod players burn through 2 rebukes. He also has a ton of mana up to be able to pay for them now. So
Hmm.
even on this turn, I don't know what the last 2 cards in hand are, but even just making like a clue token and then untapping, I think is fine. You just need to be
Yeah,
able to survive and keep cycling your cards.
yeah. Survival is the name of the game at this point. As soon as you can land a Wrath or oh, that's a Brea. Well, so much for survival.
Yeah, because it's
uh,
so how much mana?
there's 6 mana up, so we could potentially, if okay, it's not resolving. I don't think. Oh, correct me if
It
I'm wrong.
might
Okay,
be.
so it might be. Let me use some
So we
math
have
here. If
9
it's
damage available.
yeah, but it's sacked 2 artifacts. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, we would need to sack everything, including the retrofitter, and then that still
Oh wait, no,
doesn't
no, because
kill.
it's only 1 mana to activate.
Yeah, it's the mana. The mana gate isn't the problem. It's the artifacts that are the problem. He doesn't have enough to like spare idiots. I think.
And I think he does because
Is that 5? That's 4.
he sacks
Oh, right.
the
It's
yeah,
a
yeah,
unit.
he has enough.
Yeah, we got there. Holy shit! Wow, I can't do math. For some reason, I thought the Brea was 3 damage, not 2 damage.
That was an insane match.
Wow,
This deck is
this,
sweet.
that deck is crazy.
This deck is sweet.
I
Um,
I might need to build a version of this. It looks like it's only almost a like so how we ran submissions for this event is we had the players submit lists ahead of time so that in case if cards spiked or if their deck list went up, they wouldn't have to like fundamentally change their lists in any way.
whoa,
So
we're
clearly Preston submitted a little bit ago, but this deck is only it's like $1. It's like 87 cents over at the time of this. So like stock ups are 50 cents each. Like I think you could pretty comfortably trim stock ups for something else and have the list be under. So like that's crazy. It looks like Rusty is still in a game.
I actually have it up on the stream now, and there is a pile of monk token triggers.
Oh, is there a mentor in play?
There is.
My game moto is loading. Oh.
Like I can't even. I'm trying to like.
Oh
I don't. I
my
guess we can put this here.
god. Oh my god. That's oh my god. I I love that he's gone back to playing that he's playing Mentor and Bane. I oh my god. This is everything. This I love this so much.
We have a Rhino that was stolen by an Archmage's charm as well.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Oh my god.
I'm assuming this is a game 3.
Probably yeah. Because the Hushbringer's in, so this is definitely a boarded game, but I don't know what. Oh wow, yeah. I think this is a game. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what boarded game this is, but Hushbringers are usually what Russell brings in the side against initiative. So
This is a. This is crazy too, because uh, Rusty was at 4 before that Swords to Plowshares,
mhm.
and now what just happened there?
He was just trying to push lethal. Oh the man, that was game 2. Russell's going into game 3 with 3 minutes on the clock.
Oh my
Classic,
gosh.
classic Rusty timing out. Classic Rusty tying.
Devin is actually Death Fizzle is actually one of my like IRL friends.
Nice.
So we I think it's I was hoping that that wasn't game 3 because he is always one to flood out on Moto. So I really didn't want that to be his yeah, I don't know if you saw. I have all these lands. My graveyard has all these lands.
Yeah, he's got a lot of lands in play. He's drawn a lot of lands.
The
Oh
Hushbringer's
my god.
interesting. Um,
Yeah, Hushbringer's the sideboard tech for Bane against Initiative because Bane is still like a slower deck, and but it's kind of like how how most like slower control decks in the front will bring in like a we'll play like a Spectral Sailor or like something other like some other idiot flyer in the sideboard to take initiative. Hushbringer is Russell's answer because he doesn't play any ETP creatures, so it's literally just it's a 2 mana card that says no, you don't get initiative triggers, and I'm going to always have the initiative unless you play a flying blocker. Even if you do have a flying blocker, I'm a deck with 5 mate with a bunch of removal, so that thing is probably not sticking around.
yeah, I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I totally forgot that Rhinos actually plays initiative. It just glazed over my head because in my mind, I'm always losing to like a turn one or turn two Rhino. That I
Hmm.
was thinking like, how do I deal with the fact that my opponent could also just be playing like a turn two or even turn three, sometimes even with a nut draw turn one initiative creature, you know? Like, see, look what we got here. Two Spirit
Yeah.
Guides into Shardless on turn one, saying, I'm not playing with your Spell Pierce. I'm not interested. This is not something I want to deal with.
Man, I see Russell is not a fan of packing foils in his deck, SMH.
Yeah, I mean this is absurd because now this is
Yeah,
just all right,
yeah,
you're taking 10, you have one
yes.
turn.
You are now dead on turn 3. You need exactly balance or or like any removal spell to kill a rhino, or else you are fucking dead.
Yeah, I think that that's what's crazy about uh because the normally the blue white baneless don't play that many white lands. I think they play somewhere around 8 at most. It's like a port, it's like
Yeah,
port towns,
yeah.
and then
Rusty's on
either how many was he on?
he's on 7. He's on 3 fortress, 4 port down.
Jeez.
Oh, do we have the balance?
Oh
Oh,
my
there's the balance.
god.
Okay, we're playing a
Oh.
real game. He's going -3 cards in hand to do this, but you gotta do what you gotta do to not die.
All right, Devin's playing for the clock now. That's where we're at.
Yeah. I mean, Russell could just like Rusty could just keep like Bane and something else as his hand, and then just like I don't know, if he gets like a little later in the game, just beat him to death.
That's actually what's crazy here too is that uh I know it
Force.
was definitely the line, but yeah, he forced him to discard 3 cards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and backup Shardless.
I was about to say
Backup Shardless.
Shardless or Violent Outburst here would go crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. He's holding for end step outburst. He's holding for end step outburst.
Oh no, it's Upkeep Outburst. I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, oh no, it's Ice. Okay.
Oh, it's in the fortress. That's stone cold. Kept Consider as his other card. Interesting. So if you kept like Consider Terror, then like we have a real game. Because there's 4 spells in graveyard, Consider will be 5. If he surveils one to the graveyard, that's 6. Okay, no, he surveils a board down. Okay. So yeah, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we have 5 in grave. Okay, so this makes 6 in grave. So if he has a terror or a bane, then like we could have an online bane. We could be in business here. We could be threatening. We could be playing some big guys.
All right, so if we have like land initiative creature here,
Yeah, I would assume it's land initiative creature. Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
So to your point though, if you play something like Sailor's Bane, um, you're kind of in an odd spot. The fortunate thing for Devin is if it is Sailor's Bane, next turn he goes Forge, makes it a
Mhm.
7/5. Uh, the question is, do you block or do you trade? Like do you let it come through because it's not lethal, but at the same point, like what is your oh my god treasure cruise?
Bruise. I think it depends on the hand. If he's got a swords, then maybe. I think the ideal here is like land. So we have 1, 2, 3. Okay, just another consider. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 in exile and then 4 in grave. So a bane here is 2 mana, but a terror here is 3. Yeah, that's bad though, because now with how Russell's deck is comprised, he doesn't have any haste creatures, and so this trap is gonna go off. And oh, Oh no, we're just cooked.
We're
Oh no,
we're
he's just
smacking.
cooked. All right, no, we got a counter spell. Okay, yeah, okay. Yep. For those in chat, that is definitely a benefit of this format is you get to play Minsc and Boot Timeless Heroes, and let me tell you, that card is fucked up. That card will kill you dead. But yeah, now the problem is like Russell doesn't have any way to take initiative, so he just dies to trap on this turn.
Yeah,
Like
there's
even if he kills the caves, he needed to find a creature off that cruise. He needed to find like a Bane or something. But now he's just cooked. Yeah, yeah, there we go.
crazy match. That was a great match to end up like checking in
Woo.
on.
Yeah.
All right, so let's check it out now.
Okay.
Let's go to the tables. It looks like everyone has, we're just waiting for them to put in for the report. All right, so let's check this out. We have just need them to report. So I'm not sure if this is right. It looks like somebody dropped already.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's kind of odd. So
Who dropped?
so I'm trying to figure out, but I'm
Can you
not
just DM me the melee event actually?
the melee event.
Yeah, the melee event.
I
This is
can
in tournament. I just don't see it. Actually, yeah, I can just get to it myself. It's okay.
so round 2. Why can I not?
Can't stop looking at this Oswald list. It's so cool. Oh, this list is so fucking cool. He's playing a cryptic coat. That's wild.
How do
I do also
I?
like thinking about it. I like how the list didn't appear to be super reliant on Oswald. When I built this deck a while ago, it was like I built this deck like a long, long time ago, and I was a much worse deck builder, and I didn't know the meta as well. My list was pretty in on Oswald, and I was playing. I remember my top end was Thousand Moon Smithy, the 4-mana artifact from Lost Caverns that when it enters it makes a card, basically a construct, but its size is equal to the number of creatures and artifacts you control, and then if you tap 5 artifacts in your first main phase, it can flip into a land that whenever you use the mana for a creature or artifact, it makes that token. And that card was kind of wild, but it's also like $2. So it's kind of sad to see it omitted, but also it makes sense because, yeah, this list looks very, very tight for budgets. God, I love this deck so much. It looks so cool. Definitely going to be making a build of my own after this tournament's over.
Sorry for the delay, everyone. I'm having an issue where it's not showing me. It's not showing me where to start the next round. Uh, I don't know what to do here. I can't. Phase actions, no. Everyone submitted. All the matches are good. No matches remaining. Current round, round 2. Why can I not start match actions? Here we go. All right, sorry about the delay. All right, let's check this out now. All right, so we got a couple of sweet matches here. What do we want to see? So who is currently we could watch Burn.
Everett on Burn. Who's he playing?
Miracles.
Ooh. I mean, sounds like kind of a shit stomp, but also like I'm biased because I have had my as playing control. I have gotten crushed by Burn. What other matches we got?
The other ones I think we'll be able to all catch. Let's see, it's basically a control match versus a deck that's either slower or control. So that's why I think we can watch that one first to start.
Yeah, sure. We can do some blitz and we can do a little blitz, a Burn blitz, and then catch some other ones later.
Yeah, so when we whoops.
Oh, yeah, are you seeing this Tesserator list that Servo's playing?
Oh yeah. I'm aware.
This deck is insane. I'm looking at it right now. My dude is playing. Oh my god, this is. I love all the silly artifact. Apparently, some of our players today woke up and were like, you know what? I'm gonna bring silly artifact shit piles. I don't care that Energy Flux is the card that people might be playing. I don't give a shit. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna play artifact, which I think is great. I think I said it before, and I think I retain the belief that uh mid-range artifact decks in this format are like criminally underrepresented. There's so much design space and so much interesting so many interesting things you can do with artifacts that aren't just like playing Doctor Sword or playing like Maria combo.
Right. Yeah, I think this will be an interesting matchup. So, game 1, I do think it might be a little bit rough. We're only on 8 counter spells for the Azorius deck, but there's a lot more that comes in the sideboard that can help out, like the spell pierces, the spell quellers. So I think that that's going to be something real fortunate. And then for the burn deck, this is just kind of traditional burn. This is like your legacy esque burn list.
Yeah,
Um,
Everett's a really big burn player. That man is a big fan of casting lightning bolts and rift bolts.
look like they just got
This looks
started
like
here
a
too.
yeah. This is he's playing a pretty no nonsense standard build. The fact that Burn gets to play 4 Leyline of the Void is kind of ridiculous.
What I
Uh,
really what I really think is going to happen here is I think game 1 is going to be a lot coming through. I think it might be a little too much for the Azorius player. However, I do think, oh man, going landscape into floodplain is a tough start.
yeah, I mean, he's out of Bolt Fire Blast range. Just going to end step.
Interesting.
Wow.
I was about to say, yeah, I think
Oh
this is
yeah.
where we're
No,
going to see some things get cast.
yeah. End step bolt. Yeah. I mean, I think Everett went to 6. So I don't know though. It is burn. That deck is just like always drawing live. There's never a dead draw in burn unless it's a land.
Well, I think his list is playing Flame Rift, so if
Oh
it
yeah, it is playing.
is,
Yeah, he's playing 2 Flame Rift.
yeah, so he could go Flame Rift into Fire Blast. That is
Yeah.
a live line that's possible.
Yeah, Rift into Blast does it. A couple of things do it here. Just passing again. Man, what could he have drawn? If I'm the control player in this seat, I am thrilled that my bird opponent has 3 cards in hand and is just passing the turn with 4 lands in play. That is exactly what I want game one as a control player. It's just I need burn to flood out. That is kind of your only hope game one.
Yeah, I'm curious too because there's no response to the Brainstone activation. If I had something that I wanted to play there at instant speed, I think that's what I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, this Fluid control deck is pretty sick. If he can land a Dream Trawler, like this game might be over without a Vortex. Like Dream Trawler does kind of solo burn if they survive to play it.
Did I miss that there was a Dream
Oh
Trawler in this list?
yeah, there's 2 Dream Trawlers in this deck, bro.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. Oh, Lou's focusing the skewer. That's pretty brutal. Because now, like, oh, he must have drawn multiple skewers. Actually, that's probably what it was.
Yeah,
His
that's
hand's
my
probably
thought also at this point.
yeah, because like it's not Rift Bolt. He would have been suspending the Rift Bolts. Um,
It could
it
be
might have said
multiple
like
copies of Fire Blast too. Okay, so we do have a Fire
yeah.
Blast. Is this a second one?
If it's Blast, that would be crazy.
Oh, it is. It is.
Oh,
Oh,
it's Blast.
nice.
Holy shit! Oh my god, that is wow.
All right,
Yup.
let's check out the sideboards now. So
Yeah.
when we talk,
So
go ahead.
So yeah, control spraying in the spell pierce, for sure. We're bringing in high noons. We're bringing in spell quellers. Although spell quellers aren't actually that good against burn because you just like you eat a bolt and then they get to bolt the thing and then the bolt that you ate comes back out and hits you still.
It
Um,
does eat 3
I
damage though, which is kind of
yeah,
important.
eating a bolt is definitely relevant in this matchup considering you don't have much that does do that. And also these 4 terminuses in your deck are pretty dead. Um, Honestly, I think as a control player, I think I'm also bringing in the Fragmentize. Because Fragmentize kills Eidolon and Sulfuric Vortex, 2 cards that give Burn the ability to go later into the game and present a threat. Like they present a clock just from existing. And if you're playing control, you want as much breathing room as you can, and those cards do not give you said breathing room. So as a control player, I'm actually a fan of bringing in some number of disenchants against burn. Because like sometimes they're dead cards, but sometimes you just really, really need to kill an Eidolon and a Vortex. Because Everett's definitely going to be also bringing in um, pyrostatic pillars, I think, because pillars in this matchup are obviously very good. Um, I think you, I think we're cutting, we're definitely, yeah, we're cutting the Searing Bloods because those cards don't have any targets, and then I think if I'm in Burn's seat, I don't hate cutting 2 Searing Bloods to play 2 Pyrostatics and then just calling it a day.
Yeah, we're definitely not playing the Searing Bloods. What I will say is the Miracles player did maul one
Mm-hmm.
down. Um,
Yeah, that's rough.
I'm guessing that they don't have a lot of removal this game as they're counterspelling the Swift Spear.
Mm-hmm.
Um, or maybe they don't
Terminus.
have the white mana to swords it.
Yeah, yeah,
Because now that you have that terminus off the top that doesn't do anything now. At least not
yeah.
for a while.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what is so 3 cards in hand? See if we can get
Yeah.
in with this Goblin God.
Yep. Yeah, Timeless Dragon's also sick. Yeah. Yeah, this blue control list is like really cool. Um, Playing dress downs in the main is also quite interesting.
Dress downs are
Uh,
pretty good against the initiative creatures, just
for
because
sure.
if you're doing something like we saw from Rhinos, where you're trying to kind of ramp one out with some Spirit
Mhm.
Guides, you're exchanging a lot of cards. If you stop the trigger, then you've just overpaid for like a 3/4 or a 5/3.
You can absolutely muck people with those cards. Also, the defabricate in a similar vein, being able to do defabricating someone's Charless trigger. Oh, delicious. Important. So Yeah, we can't put the terminus that we drew back on top. Not that we would really want to. We would love to do that to just get rid of this goblin guide, but I think we're just digging for. I don't know what we're even digging for at this point. Like just swords to stay alive. We're still 2 turns off of being able to drop a trawler if we have one, unless we draw like a soul ring and have a land.
How many skull cracks did...
He's not playing any skull cracks.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's just on vortexes as anti-life gain stuff.
Trawler is pretty disgusting then.
Yeah, like if we can land, ooh, Dust Bowl. I missed that in looking at the deck. Dust Bowl is crazy. In a 20 land deck too. That's wild.
Just really don't want to play against post.
Oh no. Fire Blast into second burn spell probably.
Oh, Vortex, and
Oh,
then maybe another
yep.
Bolt.
Oh, it's
Had the spell pierce.
piercing. Yeah, that's big. All right, no cards in hand, and you're at 5. Rip a terminus off the top. All right, yeah, that gets rid of Goblin Guide. That's pretty big. All right.
Yeah, if you have a counter spell here, you're actually like in a pretty decent spot.
Yeah, I think we might actually be seeing game 3 here. Okay, maybe not. Okay, yep.
Oh wow.
So about that.
I
About that game
wonder.
3.
I wonder what the 3 cards in hand are.
I would have to imagine some lands if I had to take a wild guess, but I don't know for sure.
It could be
Ooh,
removal.
Mystic Sanctuary. Why is he getting back? But then the counterspell doesn't do anything against the pillar.
Oh, this is Trawler.
Oh, it's Trawler time! Let's go! It's Trawler time.
So this is
Okay.
pretty huge because then he can
Yeah.
attack, gain the life back, unlock the
Yeah.
That's it. It's
Yep.
just pack it in.
Yeah. Tag it in, baby. There's no way you can beat a Resolve Dream Trawler. Yep.
Jeez.
Holy shit. I'm so happy to see a Dream Trawler hit the stack. I love that Dream Trawler is a legitimate control finisher in this format. I love that card so much. I love that stupid ass card. It's also extremely busted when you go when you brain surge with it, because then you have Trawler, you main phase brain surge, and then it's smacking for 8 lifelink. That also just draws a card, or 9 lifelink because when it attacks it draws. So yeah, I might have to sleeve. I might have to play a Dream Trawler control deck here soon. That card is so much fun to play with. I'm gonna hit the bathroom real quick, so I will be right back.
Yep, no problem. Go over this cast here. So we have the Goblin God. Goblin God is going in and smacking for 2. We've revealed an opt off the top. All right, now it doesn't look like either player. Oh, I lied. It looks like the blue-white player has mulligan down once. I don't know about the opt before. Oh, Spell Queller off the top. Okay. This was the line I was talking about earlier where Spell Queller, it does eat a burn spell, but that's at least kind of gaining 3 life. To me, this is either looking for a white land and or putting a Terminus on top of the deck to be able to answer both of these. This next turn, though, oh, it doesn't have a white land, though. So he gets attacked down to 10.
I'm back. Something I also didn't necessarily think about with playing Spell Quellers is Spell Quellers also do represent blocking pretty much every creature Burn has outside of a double Swift Spear. So I think Quellers actually are correct, and I didn't have that. I didn't think about that angle of attack, as well as just being like, "Hey, I'm gonna soak 2 bolt. I'm gonna soak a bolt.
Right.
I'm gonna soak a bolt and make your turn really awkward."
I'm not sure that this might not go on much longer.
Yeah.
The mulligan definitely looks like it hurt, and then the timeless dragon cycle now.
Main phase cycle.
Yes. So it's a main phase cycle. So there's 4 damage in play. There's a
literally any bolt is lethal here.
Well, there's a rift bolt on the in the exile.
Oh yeah, no, cooked. Yeah, I know he's just cooked.
Yeah, so
Oh
he'll go
yeah.
to 5, exile the Eidolon, but then he'll be dead to Goblin Guide and Riftbolt. So
Yep. Mhm.
Burn really solid in this format. It's just basically Legacy Burn.
Yep. The way that Everett described it is the list that burn in this format is literally just legacy burn, but without price of progress.
Right. All right, let's
And even then,
check
I don't know if
out.
people would play pop in this format. I think pop is good, but we got oh man, this is a good one. Um, Servo on the Tesserator is playing Ketzer on. I don't know what he's on. I
Ketzer
think.
is on Bant.
Oh right, he's on Barak. Okay, that should be a pretty interesting matchup.
Yeah, it looks like this is game 2.
A lot of control today.
Oh no,
Looks
that's
like
what I didn't want to reveal it, but there is a lot of control today. Yeah, we had, what was it, one, two? We had 3 just Bant control lists, and uh, what was that? Like 2 to 3 blue white lists.
yeah, we had two Bane lists and then also that Miracles list. So definitely a metagame where definitely a metagame where Burn will absolutely clean house.
What's interesting is we had another drop. Someone had to go. So now,
Mm.
since we have a top 8 cut, um, you might have somebody who has not the best record still be able to squeeze in the top 8. So I'm curious to
Mm.
see how those breakers and standings go after the next 2 rounds. Tamio meets the story circle.
Here's really interesting. Basically lets you convert a bunch of dead cards into a bunch of spare artifacts.
So what are the payoffs in the blue black deck for the critical mass of artifacts?
So you get access to Battle at the Bridge, which is a improvise removal spell that gives a creature -X, and you gain X life. It looks like we're playing Thopter Sword. We're playing Nettle Cyst, and like obviously we're playing Tinker to find them. And then the big one is we're playing 3 copies of Tezzeret, Agent of Bolus. This card is kind of the real deal. It starts at 3. It rolls up to look at 5 cards and grab an artifact from among them, and the rest go to the bottom. It rolls down by 1 to make an artifact a 5/5, and the big one is the -4, where target player loses X life and you gain X life, where X is twice the number of artifacts you control. So if you have 10 artifacts and you have this and you have the Tezzeret at 4, which it gets to immediately because you uptick from 3 to 4, and then if they don't answer it, then they just die to getting domed for 20. It's great. So those are the normal big payoffs. Um, and then he's also playing a Tezzeret the Schemer, which has an ultimate of at the beginning of combat on your turn, you make an artifact of 5/5, but that needs 3 turns to ult because it starts at 5 and then upticks by 1 to make a treasure token basically, and then the ult is at -7. So it's basically just a bunch of we're almost like a mid-range control deck. We're just playing a couple planeswalkers that really like having artifacts, and then we're also just happen to be running Thopter Sword. And then Battle at the Bridge is like kind of a neat removal spell that also just gains a bunch of life. And sideboard, he's actually playing a card that I really like, and it's like mid-rangey, controlly black artifact decks. He's playing Serrier's Devastation, which is a 2 black for a sorcery, and also with an X cost. It says you lose X life and make X tapped Power Stones, and then all creatures get -1/-1 until end of turn for each artifact you control. So basically, it's 4 mana Toxic Deluge, because when you have a bunch of artifacts in play, then your Serious Devastation is get everything like -7/-7 for 4 mana.
Yeah, I'm wondering, looking back at the sideboard, I think the Rise and Shine is definitely a key in this sideboarded match, just to be able to
Mhm.
convert all these clue tokens into threats.
Yeah.
Some of our other match updates. Grawl aggro beat Bant Control.
Mhm.
Rhinos beat blue red discard. So
Oh
that one,
yeah, Heidel was playing that deck today, and that deck looks so sick.
yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that. See what is paired
Mhm.
up into next round.
Yeah, I definitely want to highlight that deck on stream because it's really really cool. For any of you in chat who are fans of Modern Hollow One, that's basically our version of it. Hollow One got like super expensive when Faithless Looting got unbanned, so we actually had a mono red Hollow One deck for a little bit, but that was when Faithless Looting was still banned in Modern, and so Hollow One was like I think like $1 or like 75 cents. Obviously, that card has like skyrocketed to like $5 or something. Um, so the deck has had to kind of shift a little bit and shift into blue. Oh, Ketzer's based. He's playing foils. Um, fortunately, the discard deck gets to it got some really good tools from Ether Drift. The Marauding Mako and Scrounging Skyray to a 1-drop creature and a 2-drop creature, respectively, that get +1/+1 counters whenever you discard one or more cards, were really, really big for sort of revitalizing the archetype. And I really do want to see how it goes because I'm a big fan of any aggressive deck that casts Faithless Looting.
Yeah, whoa, what is this? Karn
Yeah,
Living
Karn Living Legacy.
Legacy.
Yeah, so this is another like big artifact payoff. Is the -1 lets you just sink a bunch of excess mana and basically get like a weird like dig through time almost effect. And then obviously like if you get to ultimate, then you just win the game because then it turns all of your artifacts into like pseudo gear per ether grids.
Yeah,
But
what
yeah,
I'd
this
like,
card being down is really really big,
what
especially
I
since
I'm trying to look and
oh,
see here how you can answer the Karn in Ketzer's deck.
um
It looks like Cryptic Command is an option. I guess this Blast Zone is also just an option if he can get it up to 4.
yeah, I think his main path to victory here is just going to be getting the blast on up to 4.
Also has a 2 Helios one in the sideboard. That's an option.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like our hero with the Fiddlebender shops list ended up getting taken down by a blue-white deck.
Oof. Yeah, that matchup seems like tough but doable. Definitely was helped a lot in that first in the match we saw by mulling to 4. Oh wow, Thopter Foundry resolved. Yeah, this one might be a little cooked for Ketzer here. Um, Karn getting to ultimate here pretty freely. Because now he has to decide whether he wants the blast zone to be a 4 so he can pop the Karn, or it like he's kind of committed the blast zone mana to being at 4. So he kind of just is forced to deal with this card, which I think is still correct because this card is just going to completely take over the game with a -7 if it gets to stay around for 2 more turns.
You know what's interesting is looking at Ketzer's sideboard. Traditionally, in the Bant list, there's some type of fade into history or energy flux, but he has some universal answers. In like the Helios one that I was talking about, but he doesn't really have anything specific for like targeted naturalize effects.
Mm-hmm.
I
He's not playing
see.
anything specialized.
So this Dust Bowl is actually not in the main deck. He has 2 Dust Bowl and 2 Drownyard Temple in the sideboard. To
What?
yes. So he admittedly he did tell me about this prior, so I knew about this. But that's the way to go after non-basics. But if you look in this game, the Dust Bowl lines don't actually do that much in this match, at least in this game
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah, there's only a Spyro Industry to tag, and Servo's mana is already pretty okay.
Is there a companion? Okay, so neither decks have a companion.
Yeah, Servo's playing the Lurus in the main, which is kind of hot. The only thing that they can really regrow is well, they can rebuy Tamiya meets the Story Circle, which is interesting. But I feel like they're mostly in here to rebuy Chromatic Stars or Soul Guide Lanterns or like Alpha Foundry pieces, which is like totally fine. Yeah, nobody really has a whole lot going on right now. They're kind of like low in a low resource game. Nobody really has cards in hand. It's really going to be. I think it depends if Servo can force a key spell through here Because if Getzer can just sit on this kitchen in this Castle Ardenvale for, oh, there he is, the
Yeah, this is
Tesserator himself.
yeah, we have to interact with this.
Yeah, no, this has to get countered for sure. This card is the namesake of the deck, and it's really good. Oh, just making a clue?
Hmm.
Wow.
That is not good.
That's yeah. I think this Tezzeret's gonna hit. Yep.
So now that we
Yep.
know
So
this
now
Tezzeret's in play, what are we? I don't see anything that is dealing with this.
yeah, so this Tezzeret is gonna uptick again, presumably on Servo's turn. And then it is going to downtick to 4 and Dome Ketzer for 12 on the current board state. Because Servo has 6 artifacts in play. Trevor's ruins. Oh my god, dude.
I wasn't a
He's
part
so
of any of
high.
this planning, of any of this mana
He's
base.
so high on these layers, dude. Like when we were brewing Cycle Storm a little bit ago, like he was like, dude, we have to play a lair. The layers are so good. You get to pick up a land and it's basically like a Rite of Flame on a land. And I'm like, okay, buddy. Like, okay, so for Cycle Storm, I get it. You play your lair as your land for turn, you pick up another cycling land, and it basically doesn't represent a dud. But like in Banrek, really?
Just trust. Just trust.
This Tezzeret also is definitely going to be going for finding a Sword of the Meek, because if it finds a Sword of the Meek, then it honestly doesn't matter if it gets countered or not, because he can just sack an artifact to Thopter Foundry.
So he only
Ooh,
has to
miss
get
off
a
the
couple more artifacts in play, and I think that
yeah,
the story circle is going to be what gets it there. It's
yeah.
because
The story circle is going to be pretty much lethal. We can make a. Oh yeah, we don't have triple white actually, so we can't make a Castle Ardenvale token.
yeah, I
Which
think
is
I think at this point this game's going to be locked up because next turn he's going to discard cards, whatever amount of cards to the Tameo. He only needs 10 artifacts in play at this point to kill with the Tez alt. So
this Tezzeret this gamer also represents another 2 by itself because it makes 1 right now and then 1 later. So then
he
one,
just has
two,
it
three.
now. As long as if he can't answer the Tezzeret by his next turn untapping, then he'll just have it on the alt.
Yep. Yeah. Because the schemer optics to make 8. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in play. Yeah, the schemer optics to make 7. The story circle pitches your 3 cards to make 10, and then the agent of Bolus bolts to dome them for 20.
It's pretty
Oh, the
huge.
white source. The third white source came in too late. If we had that a turn earlier, then we would have been able to make a Castle Ardenvale token and then permanently keep the Agent of Bolus out of ult range. But alas, just respiting yourself, yeah. Respite notably does not stop getting domed from Tezzeret.
It does not.
Okay, so this is definitely game 2. Rest in pieces were probably in the sideboard.
Yeah, he's also on a couple rest in peace and a couple energy field in the sideboard also.
That makes sense.
His
I'll
sideboard's
just.
built to kind of pivot based off the matchup.
Mhm.
The problem is, I think a lot of those answers just they're really good universal answers, but then you have things like this where you need something that's just a little bit more specific. Like the Helios one, Blast Zone stuff is a little slow here, where something like, just even Naturalize blowing up a thing, and then he's on Mystic Sanctuary to be able to, he can even pick those up if he really wants to. But all right,
Mhm.
Servo's gonna get the match. Let's double check and see. That was actually the last match. So
Oh, sick.
yeah, this is perfect.
All right.
So here's what we're going to
Round 3.
do. Yeah, I'm going to notify the Discord of a quick bio break. Just a quick 2-minute break here. And then what we'll do is after I come back, we'll pair for the next round and figure out who our feature is after we look at standings. So we will be right back.
We'll be right back, stream.
Okay, we are back. Let's check out standings real quick. So we'll go to round three. All right, so standings. Let's check out standings. So after round two, our top four decks are Mono Red Burn, Rhinos, Blue White Mid Range, and Grawl Aggro. So I think let's check out what these matches are. So we had a couple more drops. So we're actually down to 11 now, which is pretty crazy, considering we're doing the top eight cut. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of interested if you are in checking out the top two players. Um, it's blue white control with it's actually blue white Sailor's Bane versus
Mhm.
Grawl Aggro, which is it looks like it's a Grawl initiative deck. It's playing Gut. It's playing what
Mhm.
else we got? Squee, Dubious Monarch.
Yeah, this deck looks like a pretty traditional Gruul Stompy shell. Playing Ignoble Hierarchs is really exciting though. That's a really exciting pickup for this deck. Um, yeah, yeah. Let's fire this one.
Who's
Let's
the
see what
other
happens.
player? Okay, so
Is Russell the other top of the seat? Oh no, we watched Russell lose. Yeah, never mind. So it's some other Sailor's Bane player.
yeah,
It's
it's
Caleb. Yeah.
Caleb. So
All right. Sick.
yeah, once we get because then what we'll do is I would imagine the next round, the top two seeds will probably draw.
Hmm.
So then we can watch one of the matches that's in contention for top eight.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Looking at this Gruul aggro shell, it looks pretty traditional. You're doing your usual plan of trying to like spam spirit guides and dorks to try and play initiative creatures on turn one or turn two. Gut's a really cool backup card. I don't think I've actually seen a whole lot of Gut in these lists. I think it's usually like a Lelia or something. But with the Metadork plan, Gut definitely seems like a pretty good pick. Squee Dubious Monarch is also a really cool two of. Also synergizes gorgeously with Gut. It's also just a threat that just doesn't die. It's like it just does not die. It does not go away. Um,
I
which
missed
has
it
been
there on Ignobles. That's pretty sweet.
yeah, triple ignobles is really exciting. That card's 63 cents?
Yeah, it dropped down a lot recently.
What?
I actually added it into my Jund list.
I did not I saw the ignobles and I was like, oh yeah, it's 189. It's 189 for the card, right? No, that's for three
Right.
ignobles. That's
No.
wild. The last time I checked, that card was like 90 cents. So to see that card being so low is very exciting.
So this is just a hard cast Bone Crusher. Um,
Oh yeah, no, we're just casting Crusher and Stomp. Like
yeah,
we don't
we're just
yeah.
pressuring.
Yeah. It is a turn play big thing, turn things sideways, knock Gruul, then die.
Yeah, why do anything other than kill our opponent, right?
Yeah, exactly. None of these measly concepts of card advantage and mana efficiency. Nah, play big thing, turn big things sideways.
So what could we see after this? We could see a Caves of Chaos, and under okay, no play. Interesting. I wonder what's in hand for Harmony then, because they could have Lightning Bolts or Once Upon a Times.
Mhm.
That's the only thing that I'm seeing if they have three cards in hand. We know one of them is a Cinderglade because they revealed it to the game
Yeah.
trail.
Okay. So most likely turn three
Jeez.
Sailor's Bane. Yeah. It was what, double Faithful Mending? Oh yeah, the Faithful Mending into Thought Scour into Thought Scour. Yeah, that'll do it. So yeah, I guess it must have just been like nothing really going on, which like can't happen in these. Yep, yep. There we go.
Lee Monkey.
Yeah, which like this can happen in these like rule decks. It's just like sometimes you just don't have a threat, and then you just gotta I don't know jam some idiots in there. But already actually a surprisingly pretty good start for Caleb here. He's at a really comparatively a pretty explosive Bane opener. Like turn three Bane is definitely not what this deck's primary plan is.
Jeez,
You
double
just wanna
Bane.
double turtle.
Yeah.
Usually you have to go a little slower, and just like try to like accumulate some card advantage, get some cards in your hand, like not die for a bit, and then deploy your Banes as like as like control finishers. But no, he's just gone all in on just like, yeah, I'm just gonna go full bore and just try to just murder you. Yeah, that's a early concession here.
I honestly, I'm a little surprised at that, at the triple block to trade.
Hmm.
But even then, I'm guessing that the hand just wasn't panning out. We do know that there was still the Cinderglade in hand
I
because they
suspect
hadn't
they
played it. So I just don't think that they had anything left.
yeah. Banes also are very hard for this rule. Like to deal with. It looks like your plan against this deck is just trying to get in there faster and outsize them. But we didn't have a turn one. We didn't have like a super fast initiative creature. We had like a more middling hand with the Bone Crusher threat. So yeah, just not the kind of hand that can
So
deal with a Resolve Sailor Pain, and especially not two of them.
So real quick, going over the sideboard, the blue-white list pretty clean. Looks like probably three doorkeeper thrall and two path to exile. For the Gruul aggro deck, the one thing that's pointing out to me, two summoning trap.
Yeah, no, we bring those summoning traps in. Um, I don't know what we cut for them, but they definitely come in.
My guess is something that for the two summoning trap, looking at the deck, I think gut might not be as great, just
Yeah,
because.
guts and squeeze were what I was looking at.
Yeah, I would say maybe I'm probably in the train of cutting the two gut, just because Squee on its own can be very powerful. Gut needs a lot
Yeah.
of other cards, and you need to attack with it to.
Well, no, it doesn't need to attack. It's just you need to attack with anything. Period.
Let me reread this card.
Yeah, I think you cut Squee because Squee is worse into exile removal.
That is
Oh
true.
wow,
Oh,
balance.
jeez.
This is the second balance of today where we're seeing the caster of balance discard 3 cards to wrath the board with the balance.
Yeah, this is exactly why I just picked up a copy for my Esper list. Because plays like this, you do go down on cards in hand, but the fact that you get to choose what you go down on and tagging a
Mhm.
land and two creatures, that's it's a 3-for-1 on board. In hand, you end up discarding 3 cards, but
Yeah,
what are these last 3 cards?
yeah.
What else are
It's
we able to do?
yeah, it's pretty equivalent to like oh
Ooh.
no. Okay, looks like this game is about to be as dunzo as quick as the last one.
So,
Wow.
how are we
Vincent,
answering this? Okay, so I see
uh,
no good ways to answer a resolved Mince and Boo.
I don't think we do. I think I think you just die. I
Yeah,
think you just die.
we just try to play terrors and sailor's bades and just call it a day.
Yeah, just play idiots and try not to just lose to the boo. There's also the reality where he's holding a swords um and then like when he goes to uptick Minsk on the boo, he swords as the boo and then can get in with the terror to kill Minsk, which is like that's probably the cleanest path I see to killing Minsk. And yeah, looks like that's exactly what's going to be happening here.
So he
Unless
needs a
Harmony has no great.
yeah, Harmony, they need a blocker
Yeah, I need
for
a block.
the terror.
Oh, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah, that's about as good as you could get. I think the only
Yeah,
better option would be Caves of Chaos to trade.
that's a trade
Um,
for a.
Not completely out of the woods yet though. So still 1 card in hand for the Bane player.
Mm.
Neither one of those are really good draws, so it's a pretty good Thought Scour mill. Is this a swords? Oh man.
Wow, double swords. That's brutal. Yep, get in, kill the Minsk. Yep. Wow. All right. We
Jeez.
know Harmony's 1 card in hand is a land, so we are in top deck mode. And they're also forced to go down the Lost Well path too, because um, the only target for the Forge would be the Tolarian Terror. So you're forced to go down the path that rewards you with damage in in a later turn. Oh, that doesn't. Oh no, the
And
counterspell
a
got him.
counterspell. The last card in hand's a
Oh my
counterspell.
god,
Wow.
just having it all. Yeah, that's brutal. Because now this Terra gets to beat in and take initiative, and unless Harmony cut, or unless Harmony still has squeeze, there's not really a great. I mean, there's probably just like another initiative creature also does it, right? Because like you just slam the initiative creature and then like take the initiative back, and then hopefully it's a cave so you can trade with the terror. But like, yeah, if Caleb was another removal spell or counter spell here, you are just cooked.
Okay, so it
Wow,
is
a free
caves. Yeah.
caves off the rip. That's huge.
Jeez, man.
Badass top decks left and right. This is a great game of Magic.
Yeah, this is a lot closer than I was
Yeah.
expecting it to be at this point.
Yeah, no, I fully expected that when he went double swords, kill both your guys, kill your Minskin Boo, leave you hellbent. Like that would have been it. But that just goes to show how well initiative decks can top deck. It's just like you only need one card and the entire game turns around. Are we getting second terror in here? I think we're getting second snake. Second snake or a bane, maybe?
Solid snake.
Snake.
Ooh, a
Snake.
cruise.
Oh, going cruising. That's pretty big. What is
Jeez.
oof.
So they'll at least have a blocker to keep the initiative,
Yeah,
assuming that there's no
yeah.
removal in the blue-white player's hand.
Mhm. So we've seen two paths, or we've seen two swords and a path. So there's only two kill spells left in the deck.
Oh, we
Oh
have a
baby,
mentor.
here he comes! It's the mentor.
Okay, I'm sorry. We're playing Frantic Inventory. I missed this in the deck list.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would have been talking about this at this point.
Yeah, Baneless of Writing Inventory is definitely a Russell innovation of it's just a really, really freaking good card advantage spell. You're gonna be milling yourself with Thought Scours and pitching to Faithful Mendings a bunch and like milling yourself over with Considers. Like there are spots where that card is a 2 mana draw 3. And anything that emulates Ancestor Recall at that rate is turns out pretty good. We hit a caves. Okay, that's actually really big.
Yeah,
Yeah, the cave.
that actually blocks the Sailor's Bane and kills it. Now it won't
True.
survive, but
Yeah.
if we can hit a top deck initiative creature here, we can forge on the caves. It'll still have hexproof, and it will be able to block the Bane and survive. So there would be like no profitable attack.
Bolt Mentor, yeah, I was gonna say Bolt Mentor is also a really good draw because if you let him untap with this Mentor, you are going to lose. You are flat out going to lose.
I would almost be tempted to take the 7 if he attacks with both, block the monk token, and then untap and be able to like do my thing. Like I don't think I want to trade with Sailor's Bane here. I think I just want to block this monk token.
Yeah, no, I think that's reasonable. Yeah,
Yeah, this
because like you
caves.
don't
Good.
you don't beat a removal spell anyway, and so I think you just want to try and like see as many cards as possible to potentially like. Yeah, I think you're just racing here. I think you're purely racing. And given no other actions are taken on board, like this is a race that Harmony wins. This caves is so big. This caves is a 2-shot.
And it also that whatever card that they hit off of the caves, they get to cast for free because they've completed the Undercity.
Yep. Also worth noting that any initiative creature is lethal, because that is also lethal. I think.
It's one off, but
One.
if they
Yeah.
hit an initiative creature off of caves, no, I guess it's still one off technically because you won't be able to do it mid combat. But a bolt does it here.
Yeah. Yeah, any initiative creature. Oh, that's an SSG. That's an SSG. I mean, that is
That's still
relevant. It
fine. It
blocks.
still blocks.
Yeah, block Sailor's Bane.
And what it does is it blocks the Sailor's Bane, and then since it blocks the Sailor's Bane, they don't take the initiative back, and then you can kill them with Forge no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Caleb needs exactly another removal spell for the. he needs to kill a Simian Spirit Guide, because otherwise he is dead to trap, and we're going to game 3. this has been a crazy match. This has been a wild game.
Yeah, because we already went through the balance, right? That was this match.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Game three. And we're on to game three.
it's a pretty exciting game three. Let me
For sure.
see while we're here. Let's see any other matches finished. So the only thing that had finished so far is Rhinos beat Burn. So
Ow.
yeah, that'll make Devin 3-0. The only other 3-0 would be who wins this match, and my assumption is they'll both draw in the next round to just make sure
Yeah.
they lock top 8.
Rhinos beating Burn. That's wow. I mean, yeah, I guess if you just have like the fast hands, like the good fast Rhinos hands, then yeah, Burn just cannot keep up. I guess that makes a lot of sense. I don't know. See, that's whew. I mean, I'm never, I'm never mad to see Burn lose.
Yeah, my assumption is that without seeing the match, is that they went like early Rhinos, because as we saw,
Mhm.
if you can apply like a turn 1 shardless or violent outburst, that's like 2 to 3 turns that you have,
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
could be faster than Burn.
Yeah, Burn doesn't beat a turn one cascade. You just don't. You just don't do that. They just don't do that. It looks like both. It looks like Harmony's on 6 for this game 3. That's okay though. The girl deck mulligans pretty well, I think. Once upon a time.
Interesting.
All right.
That makes the mulligans way easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if
Turns out once upon a time, pretty good
yeah.
card. Sorry, I cut you off. What were you gonna
Oh no, nothing really of like crazy value. Um,
say?
interesting. So it seems like we're probably gonna ramp into something that we want to do on
Yeah,
turn.
yeah, we were missing a green source. That's what it was. We were missing a green source because this ESG got used for the noble, for the ignoble. So yeah, attacking with the ignoble. Wow, is that really what we're? Is that how dire of straits we're in? Is that we're attacking with ignoble hierarch instead of playing a 3-drop?
Hey, Hierarch a lot of the times will actually just carry you. I remember like being beaten by 2 to 3 hierarchs like 10 years ago.
I guess that's fine. Yeah, you can end step stomp. Ooh, Caleb missing a land drop here. That's really big.
It's actually kind of interesting given the fact that I wonder if we could see a balance here because he did mulligan and he's not casting any cantrips.
Yeah, here's a cantrip right here. Oh, doorkeeper thrall.
All right, so they're at least gonna bounce.
Yeah, yeah, they bounce off each other.
So now this is probably a bone crusher. This leads me to believe that we're not going to see a balance then.
Mm-hmm. Oh
Oh, even
no! Just playing a 4-mana Fire 3 Trampler that also draws a card. Yeah, that seems not bad. Turns out, even without initiative, Gaze of Chaos Adventure is still like a completely reasonable card.
I'm wondering. I'm wondering why you don't bone crusher there, because they ended up using one of their spirit guides.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you still get the trigger from Caves of Chaos here.
You still get the trigger, and it is a 6/4. I think you just want the pressure. That, yeah, that's pretty bad. You still get to draw a card.
I
I'm
don't think
surprised he
that's
didn't.
yeah, I don't think that's terrible.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Caleb didn't swords the thing before combat, but it might have just been a brain fart moment and it
Well,
was
yeah,
already too late.
what was the card exiled? Was it okay? It was ignoble. All right.
It was a Cinderglade. I think it was a Cinderglade.
Let me see here.
Yeah, is he just like holding lands to balance? Like to just even then though, that's not even good because then he drops 6 cards. And then Harmony just gets to keep the Bone Crusher. I don't think this is a balance. I think this is a hand that like he thought would have action and then just didn't. Oh wow, he
It
did
is a
keep. Oh,
balance hand.
okay.
Okay.
I mean, that's still not even that good though. Like he goes -5 cards in hand, and then Harmony gets to keep a Bone Crusher to his Doorkeeper Thrall. Like that's not exactly great. I
Yeah.
guess we're seeing the contents of his hand right now. Yeah,
I don't know though, because if he has lose focus, and a path.
like he didn't
Harmony was
burn the.
down to just Bone Crusher and Hierarchs,
Yeah,
and you could just sit there holding up lose focus for a while.
Yeah, like there wasn't a ton of mana going on. I don't know.
I'm curious on how the rest of this game's gonna go now.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see. I think he just didn't have lands. I think that's the big thing. He wanted to not die, and well he wanted to try and draw lands.
Yeah, this is
I don't think
probably a
I think this is dig through time. Yeah. Okay. So if his last card in hand was a dig through time, then the balance makes infinitely more sense because
yeah.
then you can itch all your cards to pay for the delve. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. I don't hate that play then.
Just looks real goofy initially.
Yeah, for sure. It looks extremely weird. And like the dig doesn't even feel that bad if you're trying to hit a Bane. Because then you have five. Because then you have seven. Yeah, you've got 7 discounts. So the Bane costs 2 mana. So we could potentially start seeing some Banes next turn. But I think this is definitely still, unless Caleb has a Bane, it's gonna be an uphill battle, especially with this Undermountain coming down. Even if it is just a 3/4 Vigilance, it's still a big guy.
Yeah, the Harmony really just needs to fade any of the big impact creatures.
Hmm.
And outside of that, I think that they're in a pretty good spot.
Yeah. Oh, that's a really risky attack without a blocker because they could be dead. Okay, there we go. Yeah. All right. All right. All right. I was gonna say then they get got by Bolt. Attack with both into Bolt, but yeah, that's all right. We got swords, Rook. All right.
Once upon a time, maybe a squee here. A squee
Really
would be
good
a good
top deck.
find.
Really good top deck for Harmony here. Squee would be great. If they still have Gut in their deck, that'd be great. If they've Gut in their deck, actually, Gut's lethal. Because they can attack with the Bone Crusher, sacrifice the Soul Ring, and then smash for 8.
That is true.
Oh, just under Crusher. Okay. I mean, that's fine. The Crusher is also relevant because it can kill the Doorkeeper. So that if they draw an initiative creature, then they can actually like get the initiative online. But I don't think they'll need the help. I
Yeah,
think
I almost
I
like
think this
just sending the stomp to the face because then any bolt or squee off the top is just lethal.
yeah,
Or
that's
even
fine.
another stomp, like just additional
Yeah, I
2
think so.
damage is crazy.
Yeah, I think Stomp definitely keeps your outs higher. We're seeing upkeep Stomp. Yeah.
You force them to use something here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's turtle time. Yep. Okay, so now Harmony's out is just just like peeling a bolt. Like they just need to peel a bolt or a bone crusher.
Could be a
Because even
bolt,
squeeze.
could be a stomp, could even be a
Yeah,
gut still because gut the token gets menace.
that's true. Yeah, the token does get menace.
We're playing something.
Yeah, just slamming the crusher. Yeah, I don't hate it. Harmony's been doing some really like aggressive trades on blocks with these bone crushers though, so I wouldn't be surprised if they actually end up double blocking the Bane.
I think their best line is to just wait. Like you have a lot of draws that need
Yeah,
answered, or you win
yeah,
the game.
yeah. Looks like we're just kind of staring at each other because the bone crushers at this point of the game have hexproof. Because Caleb cannot target them with any sort of removal spell, or else he dies.
Yeah, the best line that they would have that Caleb has with with swords is just targeting your own Sailor's Bane. So
Upkeep
this
stomp.
is
Oh, wait, no. Huh?
do we have it?
Oh,
Is this lethal?
bolt face.
Lose
Oh no,
focus
it's a lethal.
replicates.
Yeah, lose focus replicate twice. Yeah, LF replicate twice gets him there, and then, but I mean, it taps him out. Like it pretty much taps him out, which is big.
Plus, I was gonna say, do you wait if you have the bolt for like upkeep?
I mean, yeah, I think this is definitely
Oh,
a
this is
good
their
time.
upkeep. Oh, that's
Yeah,
100% the correct timing. I thought this was a
yeah.
top deck bolt and just cast.
No. This is Caleb's upkeep. Um, yeah, we're in main phase.
All right, so a lot of active draws here.
Mm-hmm.
Another couple match updates here. Oh, actually, I'll hold off because
Oh, that's big.
yeah,
Because
another
now if the
attacker.
undermount, yeah, now we can now next turn we can go attacking.
Yeah,
because anything hitting is lethal. So Caleb needs another removal spell or another creature in order to live.
yeah, it has to have something here.
And if Harmony Peel's a burn spell, then he needs removal. He can't do both. Yep, send in the team.
All right, what do we
Is
got?
there removal? Is there removal for this Under Mountain?
A sword or a path would be huge
Okay, it's a
here.
sword. It's a sword or a path, yeah. Okay. 3 mana. Wait, what is this?
Is this summoning trap? Are we seeing summoning trap?
Hardcast Summoning Trap?
They're floating the mana.
You're floating mana, that's so crazy.
Oh my god.
No, they're waiting. Yep. That's crazy. So they let that's actually so smart. They let the path resolves to get the land out of their deck so their summon and trap would be more likely to hit. That's wow. Really heads up play there.
Yeah, fortunately, there's nothing that putting it right into play just causes them to
Yeah.
lose, you know?
Nothing
But
there's nothing there's no immediate death. There's no immediate death.
yeah,
But there is the impending death.
can you imagine it's
Yeah,
just
there's
seven
definitely
whiffs?
This is definitely a really good metagame for Cruel Aggro to potentially take a 3-0 though. There's like barely any. There's no combo. Nobody's playing combo today. Everybody's playing reasonable and fair Magic.
Yeah, I think out of the players that we had, there were some combo lists. Like there was a High Tide player, but that was one of the ones that didn't show up.
Hmm.
Um, the mono white
Cool.
shops list is kind of combo,
Yeah,
but
it's like
and then there's
it's like
like burn.
yeah, it's mid range combo. Yeah. Wow, we did hit the gut. Yeah. So yep, forced trades here.
Yeah, so now you
He's
have to answer the gut.
yep. Yeah, you have to answer gut or else you lose.
You have to answer the gut and nice.
Nope.
Wow, that was a crazy last match to
Wow.
watch.
What a banger of a game. Holy shit.
All right,
That
so
was a
who?
real thriller the whole way down.
Okay, you know we can finish watching here. The
Yeah, we can
pod
finish watching.
list is
Yep.
playing
Versus
against the.
Tesla.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay. What do we got here, gamers? Wedding Invitation. That's a
Wedding
really
invitation.
it's a really interesting card. I guess it's just like a 2 mana rock that like draws a card. Like it's
Well,
just a cheap thing that replaces itself.
the big thing with it is that it makes your crawling barons unblockable.
Oh yeah. I was thinking to myself, like, is there something you can give unblockable to that's really relevant? Like Brea or Oswald? Like none of those are really relevant. Oh yeah, Crawling Barons. Yeah, Barons makes a lot more sense. So yeah, I guess Invitation is definitely more of a card that you play if you want to like really improve the efficacy of your combo win, which I think is reasonable. Ooh, Foundry in this deck. Is this a game? Yeah, this is a boarded game. So we don't know if this is game 2 or game 3. I would assume this is game 3,
The
given
tough
how
part, yeah, the tough part is that the Oswald player a lot of times needs a lot of clicks.
mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
because of that, looking at the time, you would think maybe it's game three.
yeah. I was gonna say it's either a game 3 or it was a really long game 1.
Yeah.
Which with these two decks, it would not surprise me if it was a real grinder of a game 1.
Ooh.
Ooh, the Tezzeret hitting the play. Once again, we see Tezzeret hitting the board in a against a deck that doesn't really have a whole lot of like creature threats. Like Oswald's best peel here is like their best response here is like a Cryptic Coat. A Retrofitter is also pretty good, but yeah. Hmm.
I think one thing that I really liked about that Silex play is that initially I was looking and Servo was
Oh,
below on cards, but because Tamiyo's put those clues into play, so being
mhm.
able to tag that is it was either a 2 or 3 for 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Saw Tinker get played.
yeah, Tinker for
Tinker away an
tools.
Astrolabe for a section tools. Yeah, that's pretty big because now that can clear Tezzeret, or it can almost clear Tezzeret. And Server doesn't actually have an artifact in play. Classic Servo. Don't make me read cards for the first time. It really is Batterskull at home, yeah.
So Tezzeret ticks up.
Yeah. He wants to find a sword here. If he finds a sword of the make, then he's gaming because then he can infinitely block this. Oh, Ether Spell Bomb. That's also pretty good.
Yikes.
Yeah, tools doesn't give ward. Oh, he just has the sword. Wow, yeah.
Doesn't the manifest have ward as part of the
No, that is
or
the
that's
the Murders of
disguise?
Karlov Manor ones have ward.
Yeah.
These Manifest Tribe ones don't. Yeah, it's stupid. I would know. I've cast a lot of Morse in Commander. Ooh, Starbox Tome. Not actually that great against the active Sword of the Meek, but it gets a land, I guess.
Yeah, that's where I'm like, I don't actually know if I like that play because
Yeah.
you can get your manifest bounced by the spellbomb this turn. Okay, Oswald.
Mm, that makes a lot more sense now, yeah. So then, okay.
I know
All
I
right.
said around 1. I can't pretend to know like where we're going with these lines at this point.
Mm-hmm. Something relevant actually is what you could potentially do here is um you can actually pot away one of the like a one drop of some kind into the Sky Seeker's chariot we saw earlier, and then name Thopter Foundry. So that you make sword looping like really, really annoying.
Does the You're talking about the vehicle, right?
Yeah, the vehicle that makes activated abilities of things with the name you choose cost 2 more.
I thought it just
It's
made the
kind of like
spell more expensive. Am I wrong?
no, it makes activated abilities cost 2 more. It's kind of like
Interesting.
Anointed Peacekeeper, but worse. It's yeah, I get the feeling it reads like it should be like an Anointed Peacekeeper effect, but it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm less high on that card now as opposed to just something like Revoker, but
Yeah,
um yeah,
I
that
guess
definitely does make the Thopter Sword line more annoying.
being a 3/3 flyer that you can crew with Oswald is like definitely not irrelevant.
Right.
So if you need it in like an initiative matchup, it's like definitely better in that specific instance than like Revoker would be.
Are there any 6s that we can pod for?
No, there's no sixes in the deck. We top out at 5 with dissection tools, which I think is honestly correct. Like six is the range where it's like, it's really rough to draw these cards. You really want to be cheating them out, and like I don't even know what six you'd be playing. Honestly,
You don't like your 6
I'm not
drops in your infinite mana deck?
uh I, hmm, I don't know. Look, I may be the fool who plays Aomer, King of Rohan, and humans, but that card says when this card enters the battlefield, your opponent loses the game. I don't know if there's any six drop artifacts that you could really like affordably play that are like when this enters, your opponent loses the game that you aren't already doing. Like what could you possibly want out of a six drop artifact that Brea doesn't already give you with the inevitability?
All right, so hear me out. Runaway
Okay,
Boulder. 2 mana to
what
cycle.
hell does this
ETB
card do?
deals 6 to a creature.
I mean, we already have the Saw Blades for that, though. The
Well,
Spring-Loaded Saw Blades is basically that effect, but like 4 mana cheaper. Like, sure, it can only hit tapped creatures, but then like it also crafts into like an artifact creature that's like a big guy,
yeah, but your Saw
which is
Blades
very fun.
doesn't pod into Mer Battlesphere.
You just want to cast Battle Ball, don't you?
Well, no, so like you could. Well, what the heck is the other card? Um, so like we see like this deck has Tinker, so you could Tinker for
Mhm.
Battle Ball.
Yeah, that's true.
So what's that? Bolus's Citadel.
Tinker for Citadel is like a real deck. It's just a completely different deck. I know Clamors has been messing around with like Citadel Storm, and that deck looks like kind of sick to Goldfish. I don't know how good it is, but I don't know. Bolus Citadel is just like a fundamentally broken card anyway. What is going on here? Are we improvising something? Are we improvising Battle of the Bridge? Is that what's going on? Yeah, it is Battle of the
Yes.
Bridge. All right. Yeah, this game looks pretty convincingly like Servo's game to lose.
Do we have 11
This
artifacts in
game,
play yet?
one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. No, but we do have an active Thopter Foundry, so making 11 artifacts is not hard.
Well, so my other thought is you so you go through the trap next turn, take them to
Mm-hmm.
17, and then okay, yeah,
Yeah, there we go.
so there is a game 3.
Wow, that was game two. That's hilarious.
I just want to say that like playing Oswald, like that's brave.
That's I love it so much.
On like MTGO playing it, that's
Yeah,
brave.
it's so sick.
Like it's so many clicks. It's just all the different lines too. Like
Yeah,
I could not do it.
yeah.
Takes a type of
I
man, and I'm not.
Yeah. That is real. Toolbox players are can be an absolutely different breed. I'm not one of those toolbox players.
Built
However,
different.
I am not built different like that.
All right. So 6 minutes to win the game.
All right. I mean, we saw him do like Zerta combo in one of those games on what, like turn 3 or turn 4. Like he can put up quick wins. The issue is if can he do it through disruption. I see his stock of getting taken. The more that I see this card, the more that I want to like it. Like I want to like this card. It's really good. But like, man, being a sorcery just makes it just feels like a mid-range storm card.
I
I
think
don't know.
in non-blue matchups, as a blue deck that can afford to tap out, the card is huge because you spend
Mhm.
your resources early on. Like this here, being able to, just kind of rebuild to be able to
Yeah.
have that selection instead of drawing the 2 lands, being able to draw something impactful here.
Hmm.
That's a lot. That means a lot for this type of, especially this type of matchup.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. It's definitely a card that can uh drag you out of these like lower resource environments that black decks wants to like put you into, which is really key, I think.
Yeah, the fact that these duresses, like, let's say for the sake of this, there's another stock up in hand. I see, so there's a recommission, which is, these duresses are tagging the essentially 2-for-1 cards that the
Hmm.
Oswald player has.
Yeah. So if so what's the name? Silex, Disenchant, Sawblades? Silex, Disenchant, Sawblades, unknown in hand for Oswald. So yeah, none of those really do a whole lot. Surprised he didn't just slam the Silex. Just to try and start ticking up and take care of the Stopper Foundry. We're not
That
really
that
set up
is
to start
that is
toolboxing, unfortunately.
that is probably correct. I do agree with what you're saying. Okay, just factual disenchant.
Yeah, like he was totally disenchant for it, but I think having the threat of the Silex is probably just fine. Mm.
I'm guessing we're converting the Thopter that we're just tapping down to just make 2 Thopters.
Oh wait. Okay, never mind. Yeah, yeah, we're just making 2 Thopters. Oh wait, that's actually yeah, that's a good point because now we can Silex for 0 and then pop both tokens.
Yep.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah. Okay. I like that more now. Oh, and we have the Aussie in play. Okay. Yeah, wow, okay.
So what three are we getting here?
Well, we have Basalt, we have Cryptic Coat, we have Hovership, and that's it. So win the game, present a creature threat, remove a thing.
There's Cryptic Code? I don't see Cryptic Code.
Well, Oswald got PWK'd, and then so not really relevant.
That's what
Um,
I was looking at here to
all right.
try to figure out. So we could recommission, bring it
Oh,
back.
he had a recommission. That's big. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So pod there. Yeah, we're a turn away from being able to. Interesting. He actually didn't buy Zerta. He could have bought Zerta and then presented a win next turn because he could. Because then he could pay 3 for Zerta. He pods the invitation into um
I bet there's a
the
rebuke in hand. Oh,
yeah. Oh
really?
no, never mind. Yeah. What could he have? Oh no, he has Saw Blades. Right, we saw Saw Blades earlier.
Oh, right, right.
Yeah, we have Saw Blades. Oh, that's actually huge because we have Silex in the graveyard, so then we can turn the Saw Blades into a 5/5. Um, yeah, we can turn the Saw Blades into a big guy.
We're 1 mana off from activating Tar Pit and equipping Nettlecyst every turn.
That would be an experience.
That'd be a thing you could do.
Yeah. So this Blade Wheel Chariot is actually really relevant because he can tap the Razortide Bridge and the Wedding Invitation to just make a 5/5 and then just crunch in every turn.
Yes. Ooh.
Oh, he's got Lure. Ooh, that's really big. Lure Spec the Foundry. Yeah, that's ooh, that is no bueno for Oswald. At this point, I'm just rooting for Oswald to win the thing. I want this deck to win so bad. This deck is so cool. All
I,
right, get in there.
I think here it's really tough because you could put the Nettlecyst on the Lurrus,
Mm-hmm.
or really even on the. I mean, I think you put it on one of the Thopters actually, but if you put it on the Lurrus, if life becomes an issue, your Lurrus is pretty well sized.
Mm-hmm. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, the Lurus would be a 9/8 lifelinker. Pretty big. Now a 10/9, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think just suiting up Lurus with the Nettle, yeah. Just suit up Lurus with the Nettle Cyst and just two-shot seems pretty okay. Oh, do we have another? Oh, wow. Activating Barons to chump block. That feels bad.
I mean, this thing is huge.
Yeah, big Lulu.
Need a good top deck.
Buy Zerta. Hmm. Yeah. I think maybe he's just waiting for Basalt. Is that what's going on here? Like he's just trying to raw draw Basalt.
Well, what you can do is,
'Cause-
depending on how many artifacts they make, you could still activate the Chariot to block. You're
Mhm.
not able to do that if you cast the Zerta.
Yeah. Yeah, you do need to be able to block the Lurus. Oh yeah, moving it over to the Thopter, yeah.
So that's 9 in the air.
Yeah,
Well,
10 in the
10 in the
air,
air.
so yeah. So he has 1 turn. We have 1 turn to draw Basalt.
Ooh, that's good.
Ooh,
Good draw.
that is also big. Okay, so we know
Also
the one card.
explains why the Zerta wasn't cast.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. 3 minutes, 30 seconds in a dream. Winning this game. Servo did also mention that he had to or he had to swap Emery's for Luris to fit it in budget, to fit in the budget. So Luris being Luris and not Emery here is so relevant because he can't rebuy the Nettle Cyst.
Right. I almost would have liked. I guess you can't do it with the mana. I was gonna say sacking your star to pick it back up.
Mm-hmm.
We have another stock up.
Yep. Yeah, the more I see this card, the more that I like it. I'm sad I don't have a place to play it. This card seems like gas.
I was considering it for like snow pile, just
Mm.
being able to kind of rebuild after you early game, start removing some things.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a Zerta activation or a Zerta cast?
I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe it is though. Maybe we just didn't draw anything.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
baby. Oh baby. All right. Well, the shoe is now on the other foot.
I still think
The-
Servo's fine because Servo can take down Karn to try to find an answer.
Yeah, he can try to find a power word kill, but like that's his only real answer at this point because yeah, he's got lethal in play. Like we have shown lethal, and we can't take Zerta with duress. He's on Inquisitions, so Inquisition also works. Um, so yeah, there are definitely outs here, but
Yeah, I don't think
yeah,
any rebuke line restricts the mana enough.
um, yeah, yeah, rebuke doesn't work.
Spellbomb would work.
All works, yeah. Yeah, we haven't seen Spellbomb this game. That was last game. Hmm, very interesting. All right. So this will be interesting to see what he's like going for in particular. If he leaves like 1 mana up, then he's shooting for like an Inquisition. If he leaves 2 up, then he's shooting for a power word kill. He's only on 2, relevantly. He's only on 2 power word kills. So I almost wonder if he was better off sinking 3 into it. Um, because then he could find us because then a spell bomb or a power word kill works. I guess I don't know what he has in his hand. So okay.
I guess there's really no point in not attacking with the Lurrus, but to me, I guess you're throwing away your Lurrus.
Yeah, this reads like a either an attack of like I don't have anything, or it's I don't know, or it's something else.
Yeah, it's just kind of
But
an odd
I
attack.
feel like Sturm is a better Magic player than that. Yeah, I mean he left off Rebuke mana, but like I think yeah, like Rebuke doesn't do it. Oh, Chariot,
Interesting.
really interesting. He doesn't want to go for the combo. I mean he can, but playing this Chariot leaves him open to no, it doesn't leave him open to rebuke because he can cast Zerta and then use throw the you can activate Basalt and pay 3 mana and then um to pay for rebuke and then since it costs 2 less once the Zerta resolves, you can use the other Razor's Head Bridge to untap Basalt. But Servo's just tapping out here.
Yeah, I don't understand this because so like you can go.
Oh, you know what it might be? I don't I think he doesn't know that Wedding Invitation can give unblockable. I think that might be what it is. I don't know that he knows that Wedding Invitation can give the Crawling Barons unblockable. I think that's what it is. I think he thinks that he can block the Crawling Barons and like you can just like chump block it forever. Preston, this motherfucker. He shows you are already dead.
You know what's questionable though too is like he's only got a minute.
He can get there. Um. Yeah, because this 20 mana means that the Crawling Barons is a well, no, he isn't actually. Ooh, maybe actually, yeah, maybe he is just maybe Servo wins on timeout. That's a 10. We need to get to 38. Servo's been gaining a bunch of life from the Thopter tokens.
Yeah, so he'll get it to 40 if this is the number he needs to get it to.
Yeah. but he needs more mana. He needs to activate Basalt more.
Yeah,
That might genuinely kill him. Wow. I did not think we'd be seeing a game lost on timing out, but here we are. Yeah, it turns out Basalt monolithic combos are really unwieldy on Magic Online. Wow. Yep, he doesn't have enough time. Wow, that's so unfortunate, dude.
that's crazy.
He had the win in play, and the timer killed him.
That's
Man,
what.
that's so
Yeah, MTGO. It's like crazy to be able to have to click through that. I'm gonna see how it's reported. I imagine that Servo's taking it, but um, since like I believe the players know each other, I'm gonna see how they do that.
yeah. Yeah, that's ugh.
So I'm not seeing any drops currently.
Mhm.
Um, both of those players, man, Preston's dropping to 1-2.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he would have been 2-1 like with the timer. That was an easy win. That was yeah, that was it. Man, that feels bad.
All right, so let's do match players and teams. All right, so Preston actually gets the bye, which probably puts him in top 8.
He's 2-2.
Yeah.
All right.
So we could watch a match we haven't seen yet, which would be Initiative versus Colorless Ramp is what it's called.
Oh, yeah. I saw when someone yeah, they registered post. Yeah, let's rock that. Yeah, let's watch that one. This post list is really interesting. Um it's running it's running a lot more creatures than we see usual post lists running. Um It's running like 3 matter reshapers, it's running steel hellkites, it's running devourer of destinies. It's not running Gigantha, but it's also not running channel, which is really interesting because usually you see these green post lists like they have to make a choice between do I want to play Gigantha so that I can activate like Golos better, or do I want to play channel so that I can potentially like cast channel because channel is a ridiculous magic card. Um so yeah, to see that they're not on either is really fascinating. Maybe they
So
just couldn't fit?
so we are
I don't
waiting
know.
for our players to pair. Um, yeah, I think that I think their list is really interesting. They're definitely on like a more like mid-rangey version of Post.
Mhm.
Um, Also on the 4 trench post, a lot of times you see postless only running 2.
Yeah. I like 4. 4 because Trench Post gives you such crazy inevitability against, like, control decks. Um, and also just, like, powering up Cloud Post is obviously really broken.
Yeah. All right, they said they were waiting on me, so I'm giving them the go ahead.
What are we clicking here?
I think they're in the middle of making the room.
Sure.
Or actually, I think they're this group here. I think they're the Saburo EDH Panda one. I'm just going to
Okay.
verify. Yep, that's the room. So
Okay. Alright. So this is round 4. Alright. Alright, so it looks like oh, Jesus.
our top
Somebody's mulling to 4 and somebody's rolling to 6.
Jeez. Our top table, Rhinos versus Gruul Aggro did ID. So
Mhm.
they should be the top 2 seeds.
Alright. Okay. I've actually never seen I don't think I've ever like been I've never actually seen Devourer of Destiny actually like resolve before. Like it seems pretty good. Like it's kind of like a Once Upon a Time that like also just isn't like an omniscient like an anything removal spell. Seems like not bad. Especially when you cast it on like turn 3 off a post.
Right.
Um Panda. So yeah, this is really big for Panda because Panda Mold are 4. So we're so the Once Upon a Time into and then also the Devourer is pretty big. Yeah, so Saburo's playing Green White Initiative.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
to their
their list looks
point,
pretty standard.
yeah, they said to their point, they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna get run over." So we'll see.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that this list compared to normal post list has is there are some like earlier chump blocks.
Hmm.
However, they are only on 3 stone. I think a lot of times the normal post list will play the full
Yeah.
4 set.
Yeah. Usually they play three main one side, but I know some post players have been so like jazzed on playing O stones that they run just all four main. I think the card's great in post. You just make enough mana and it's just kaboom. But yeah, the Scream Initiative deck looks pretty stock. Wow, Seasoned Engineer is $4.38. That's crazy.
Yeah, cards going up. So
Yeah.
pretty importantly
I mean,
here, we have a matter reshaper.
oh yeah, Battery Shaper. Yeah, that card's gonna be pretty good here. What could this hit? This could hit Sylvan Scrying, Soul Ring, Expedition Map, Chromatic Star, Inscribed Tablet.
Well, no, so it
So like,
hits. So it's reveal the top card. If it's a permanent with 3 or less, it goes into play. But outside of that, it just draws you a card.
oh, it just still draws a card. Okay.
Yeah, so
Can can you tell that I've never read this card before?
yeah, you never had to play in modern during that time. I can tell.
No, I never played Eldrazi Winter. I was not playing the game during that time.
So we have a peacekeeper here. Let's see
Yeah, it's a little bit.
what we see in the hand. So the hand
Yeah.
is, let's see. Oh, does it
Most.
not? I guess it doesn't publicly reveal the hand. So named
Yeah,
Oblivion Stone. So there's either a stone in hand or the rest of the hand just didn't matter.
it's nothing. Yeah, probably Ostone.
And then Path the Matter Reshaper. So
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Just get the blocker out of the way, guaranteed hidden for 5, and then um threaten near lethal next turn. It's not like you're one short because you trap to 10, smash the plume and the peacekeeper and everybody in, takes him to 1.
so if they do have O
So,
Stone in hand, they could have cast it there.
mhm,
Um, they had enough to pay the tax. Instead, they're gonna
yeah,
copy a cloud post. So
yeah, they fall to 1 this turn. Um, but yeah. So, well, importantly with the Peacekeeper is that it makes the O Stone cost more to cast and then also cost more to activate. So this O Stone, instead of being 3 to cast and 5 to break, is 5 to cast and 8 to break, or 7 to break. So it's 12 mana instead of 8. So it basically just delayed the O Stone a turn.
we have another Once Upon a Time here.
Yeah.
What are the what's I want to see what the rest of their green white package is. So okay, so they ended up getting it there. So it must have been a some type of sweeper or something to interact
Mm,
with. So when we look at the
yeah.
sideboard here for green white, which is what I'm looking at first. Okay, they did have the O stone. So the green white deck doesn't actually have a whole lot for this matchup. They have 4 Cathar Commandos that I think you can bring in for your O stones. But that's about it. I don't really like any of these other cards here.
Yeah. Even then, disenchants against post are like fine. They're not incredible because usually when post plays an O stone, they're intending to break it that turn. So I think the only way they bring in the commandos is if they know, like they know about the Steel Hellkite. They exiled it off the Devourer of Destiny. Panda exiled it off the Devourer of Destiny at the start of game 1. But personally, I'm not a huge fan of bringing in disenchants for post in general. It's just like none of the hits are that great, or the artifacts just sacrifice themselves anyway. So it's just not worth the dead cards, even for the potential to kill threats. Um,
I think the
I think I
ramp
bring in like
player, I think they're bringing in this Circuit Mender, the Ratchet Bomb, and the Thrag Tusks.
yeah, I like all of those picks. Um, yeah, yeah, I like all those picks. I think if I'm in their seat, I probably trim Ugins. Ugins are not great. Um, against aggro. They just kind of like sit there and then kill a thing, and then you maybe just get run over. The Mistress Helix also seems kind of clunky. The fact that they're playing Mistress Helix is honestly so funny.
Yeah. So we did have a mulligan from the post player.
That's okay. That's what Post does. You got to find hands that get Cloud Post. But I mean, we're gonna have a Sylvan Scrying online here. We have a Sylvan Scrying, so we'll have Post online next turn. Post will tap for 2, 3, and then we'll have Post will tap for 2, and then we can Thespian stage one of them. We can Thespian stage the Post next turn. Looks like the green white draw is not very great. Ooh, Thalia.
Yeah.
Thalia actually like shockingly relevant in this matchup.
Do
Post
you,
plays a lot of non-creature spells.
do you think it's that relevant here with the post deck does play 18 creatures? That was actually
Mm.
my thought, is that it loses some stock because they're on a heavier creature deck.
Yeah, it's definitely not great. But I think the thing with this, I think the thing with this matchup is if I'm playing green white, I am just trying to run them over as fast as possible, and any kind of roadblock I can throw in the way of their mana development is going to be good, and that's what Thalia does. It just buys you time. It's like we saw it in game one where they prioritized like we only saw like the white plume on turn two, but we also saw like how devastating the Peacekeeper and the Spellbinder that caused the concession were. Um, just anything that lets you buy time and also pressure against Post is big. Because at the end of the day, Post kind of functions like a combo deck. You want to have disruption to stop their big mana plays, but you also need the pressure. Um, but this Glimmer Post coming down is huge. It's so huge. This Glimmer Post is so huge. This card is going to pretty much. Wow, yeah, Golosa, yeah, okay. So here's an interesting question: are we getting Crystal Vein or are we getting
Oh
just
no, I
more
think you
Cloud
get
Post?
Cloud Post here. Um,
Yeah.
I think at this point, I don't know what else is in the post player's hand, but I think your main lines there are either another post, or another glimmer post.
Mhm.
You're not able to block Undermountain because you're putting the counters on it, and then you're also not going to be able to take the initiative back. Oh
Oh,
wow! See, the Cathar Commando
yeah,
blowing up Golas here is actually pretty gross, because now you're pushing
yeah.
through for 9 damage,
Even
and then it takes you to 11, and then you're not
yeah,
taking the initiative back, so you're immediately going to 6.
yeah, and then
So
trap kills. So they need O-Stone. They need exactly O-Stone or else they lose.
yeah, O Stone. Is there anything else?
3. I mean, Breaker of Creation stalls a turn because the post tap for 4, so we have access to 11 mana. So yeah, Breaker of Creation does stall a turn.
Forest Thragtusk also stalls a turn.
Thragtusk also pretty solid. Looks like we're just copying Cloud Post. So they tap for 10 now. So, I mean, that's O-Stone mana.
We don't have green
If it's a,
mana.
like, yeah, if we have O-Stone right, if there's O-Stone right here, like this is a real game. Like
Yeah,
you're still gonna get thrashed by trap, but you're not dead. That's what matters.
yeah, you'll end up going to 6, but then any scrying or another Golos could just find another.
What is happening
I
here?
think this is just utilizing all their mana to O Stone and then
Yeah,
block. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, they were just doing post math. Yeah, I don't know how the math was working with like thespian staging stuff and like doing stuff like that. I just couldn't do that math.
I think this is a flashed Cathar Commando.
Yeah, it's Cathar Commander or Once Upon a Time. Yeah, it looks like Cathar. Yeah, there we go. Because
But
then,
that's still huge. That puts them to 3. That basically says you need to have something next turn again.
yeah, yeah, it puts the lethal on it puts lethal on board, which is huge. What's our green white player's record right now? Are they 2-1?
Their record. Oh, need to go to the right round. Yeah, they're 2-1.
Okay.
They actually got a pair down.
Mm.
So I think if Post would win this, they would be able to squeeze into top 8. But it's actually really goofy because we have a lot of 1-2s. Like the 1-2s extend down from
Mhm.
8th to 11.
Oh yeah, that's oh wow, that's really brutal. Yeah, because now we get to go draw, and then next turn, even if there's another O stone, then Throne still says I have a third larger threat.
Well,
So
luckily, this is a non-red version, so there's no haste that can come.
yeah,
But yeah, they need to basically just go
yeah,
like runner into runner off the top here.
yeah. Everything needs to be everything is live, but nothing. There's nothing that comes from the hand that sneaks out and kills you. Everything is face up. Like this is what you got to deal with for right now. So Battle Ball blocks well. Breaker keeps you alive. Sylvan's Scrying. Have we played our land? We have not played our land. Okay, that's pretty big.
Yeah, so that lets
Their
you
opponent
live.
yeah, that's who live. The Battle
Oh, we're
Ball.
balling now.
We're balling.
We're balling.
That's actually huge because then because the Battle Ball and the Undermountain Adventure, um, the Battle Ball trades profitably with Undermountain, and then the tokens also trade profitably with Infinite Commando. So Saburo actually can't attack here. Oh
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
did
so
you
he
mention
can
that?
trade the commando in
Yeah,
for that, but he has
but
four
even then,
blockers.
yeah, even then you just quad block the Undermountain, and then like I think if I'm in Panda's spot, I'm totally fine to take that trade.
Yeah, the first thing I'm
You just
doing is I'm finding out what is coming into play right now.
mhm.
Is it
Yeah,
another initiative creature or is it a lower elf?
yeah. If it's a Palace Jailer, then it's really, really bad. If it's a Palace Jailer, then it is like so bad.
Yeah, I mean
Uh,
it could be a peacekeeper to I guess we're not really restricting mana, so maybe
yeah.
spellbinder's better. Um,
Spellbinder is definitely way better here. I mean, at this point, the thing is, at this stage of the game, those like soft hand attack pieces don't actually do anything.
yeah, especially
Just because
against post.
post, yeah, post just does not care. And that's definitely one of the huge advantages of post that I've found is especially in blue matchups where lose focus is like the de facto counterspell. They're like if you can get set up, you just don't give a shit about them taxing your mana. You just don't care. Once upon a time is pretty good. So this is actually relevant. We can once upon a time into another initiative creature and then cast another initiative creature and then set up a lethal trap next turn.
Well, doesn't Dungeoneer allow you to? Okay, White Plume is pretty solid.
Yeah, obviously Dungeoneer there is like also like turbo good because then you just sneak in on the non-hasty Undermountain through. But yeah, this is also representing lethal here.
You know what I'm almost thinking,
Um,
which is interesting, is he. Let's say he does not play another creature this turn. So what if there's an O stone in the post player's hand? They could swing out with the tokens, take the initiative back, and then post away the or O stone away the board.
yeah,
So he is blocking though, so that does
yeah.
remove that play.
Doesn't look like there's no stones. I think that line is like I think that line is definitely like your only out though. I think if I'm in Panda's seat though, I think I do that line. I think I just tank 5 and just pray to God.
Yeah, because there's not much that changes this turn to next turn.
Yeah. I mean, Thragtusk also does it. Like Thragtusk here is actually really huge. And it looks like I think they copied the forest with the
Yeah,
yeah,
there it
it's the
is.
tusk. The tusk. The bane of 2013 standard. All right, so that's huge. So now
Okay, I don't know what this card does. I gotta read this.
it's a really interesting tech piece they're playing. It copies all of the mana abilities of all lands in play, or it's all activated abilities of all lands in play. So we might honestly be playing for a trench post mill out. Is that what we're doing?
It doesn't
And
gain the
they might also
type.
be,
Okay.
yeah, it doesn't gain the type, but it does let you. It does represent 3 trench post activations on Panda's turns, which is relevant. Um, Cathar Commando.
This looks like it's probably gonna blow
Um,
up the refractor now, if I had to guess. Yep.
yeah, that makes sense.
Okay,
Yeah, so
so
like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 7 posts in play.
yeah, we could
So
tick that up too by converting the forest back in.
yeah, So the trenches mill for 14. Mill for 14 puts him to 20, and then the convert puts him. Wow, yeah, that's crazy. If he survives this turn, Panda actually has a line to win because he taps a cloud post to mill or to activate both trench posts to mill for 14, and then converts on his turn. Converts the no, that's the turn too slow. No, but he has another. Oh, he's another stage.
I'm trying to do
So
the math here because that goes up to 8. So that would be 16. It would be too short unless there's another post in hand, like to draw. If he draws another post land, it should get there because he should have enough mana to convert and then activate both.
yeah, he's
But
one short of double activate plus convert.
right, but a post land would end up generating more mana off your cloud post too.
Uh,
So
I
I
mean, if he
think
just has a trench post here, like that's GG's too.
6, 7. Oh,
Circuit
never
Bender.
mind. We got there. We got Circuit Bender.
The bug.
Yeah, we're bugging.
What bugging? Yep. Okay, he's going for the mill line. So yeah, it's not lethal right now, but the impetus is on Saburo to find something to clear and like get in for 7. He's 4 cards left.
After looking at the board, it looks like the only thing they brought in were the 4 Cathar Commandos.
Yeah. And then we've seen the Thrag Tusks out of the board for post, but we haven't seen anything else. No, we've
Right.
seen Circuit Menders. Yeah, so we haven't seen
Oh yeah,
Ratchet
Circuit
Bombs, which
Mender.
we thought that Ratchet Bombs would be something else they bring in. What is left in Initiative's deck at this point? Ooh, Palace Jailer.
So it's still not good enough.
Yeah, Jailer. Yeah, I don't think anything like you Jailer eat the beast. I guess also the Circuit Mender, but the Circuit Mender draws them a card. I think you'd be better off eating the beast token because then the beast goes away permanently.
I think
So
no,
like,
I think no matter what though, like I think they're in a good spot because they're gonna block here, take 3 from Sentinel. They draw or Spellbinder. They draw 1 card, and then you can activate your trench post, and then it should be lethal.
yeah, no. If Panda gets another turn, like the game's just over.
Yeah.
So yeah, wow, okay, going to game 3.
Just gonna casually gain. Was that 10? 9?
Yeah, something like that. Something like that. Some unreasonable amount of life. Wow, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy stabilization.
Whew. The tusk, the Thrag Tusk was so huge. The like that was pretty much like pitch perfect answers there. Like Thrag Tusk into um like the battle sphere into the Thrag Tusk, um with also the O Stone. Like that's wild.
I
I
think
think if Post gets established like a Steel Hellkite or something else that's like a threat, I think that's the kind of game they need to have. I think they're the control in this matchup, which is hilarious.
I think what was also notable too though was the initiative player did have to use their Cathar Commandos on some other pieces like the refractor and everything. So it
Mhm,
wasn't removing those Mer token blockers because that's
mhm.
a totally different scenario if they're able to just convert that into just chipping away at some of the blockers.
Yeah, I think the turning point was using one of the commandos on the Manascape refractor. I don't know. I don't know if I like the popping the refractor.
Yeah, it's tough because like we were talking about, it does present like a pretty fast kill with the milling, but
Hmm.
at the same point, like like you're removing that blocker too. So I'm not sure what the correct line is. I'm sure rewatching it would be a something pretty sweet there.
Hmm.
All right, so couple match updates while we're sitting here. Uh, the one blue white Bane deck lost to Burn,
Hmm.
and the Tesserator list beat blue white Miracles. So
Nice.
yeah, we'll have to see where. Like I said, standings are kind of goofy.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a Once Upon a Time
Hmm.
into Elf. So both
Limited.
players mulliganed here.
Yeah. So post went to 5, and then initiative went to 6. It looks like. Uh, right. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think initiative went to 6. But that's what you sign up for when you play post. You have to keep a hand with post or a path to post, especially in this in the green version. Blue post you can kind of get away with it, because you have other like cantrips and stuff. But
What is this
um,
card?
oh, inscribe tablet, yeah, it's like kind of funky.
Well, I kind of like that it's like a pseudo map that you get to do off of a post into post hand.
Uh huh.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's not bad. They did pick up a glimmer post with it too, which is super relevant.
Yes, very much.
Okay, initiative doing initiative things. Pink land. We know one of the cards in hand. Actually, we don't know one of the cards in hand. They reveal the planes off the fortified village that they played. So, all right. So 3, 6, 7. Yeah, 9 with Forge next turn. So this is representing a 2-turn clock.
Yeah, because it'll go up to 8 this next turn.
Oh, the bugging. We
Yeah.
bugging.
Gee,
Double bug.
okay.
Holy shit, that's crazy.
They are gonna
That's
get to
actually really.
Yeah, they are gonna get to convert to additional cards too, and they're really bad to trade commando in either with the activation or the attack.
Mm, yeah.
Do you think he was just really prepared for green white initiative?
Um, I think Circuit Mender is like a kind of a reasonable card to bring in if you really just need to try and not get run over by aggro. I don't know that I like bulking up the commando here because now what we can do is we can trade both Menders for the Undermountain and then still draw one card. I guess if you wanted to, yeah, if you wanted to go block, that's also fine because you just need to. I think in this matchup you just want to like draw into a. You just need to draw an O stone here. So I think that's also reasonable.
Yeah, because you don't care that you convert your menders into nothing basically off this board, especially if you draw into the O stone.
Yeah. Oh, another wow. Second Glimmer post is really big here. Um,
Oh, there it
but yeah, I
is.
think the Menders. Yep, there's the O stone. I think the Menders are pretty much exclusively for the matchups where you just need to not die. Um, I don't know how they do into Burn is my problem. I feel like Burn is the kind of matchup where you would bring in Menders, but also I feel like if you're playing post, you just kind of accept that you just get kind of folded in half by Burn uh because Smash to Smithereens is just like such a bastard.
I think that the one thing that specifically for burn is Mender is a 2/3. So
Hmm.
it has to eat a bolt, and it's also really good at blocking
Hmm.
your burn creatures. So
Yeah, it gains some life. It blocks well. It basically represents like 3 to 5 life, which is like definitely not nothing.
we're gonna go into the trap, go down to 22.
Still at 22. Crazy. Yeah, double Glimmer Post plus double Circuit Menders have really carried this game. I want to see him slam a Steel Hawkite. Aw, Breaker Creation. That's also really good. Yeah.
Yeah, this is really like I'm not gonna say that the post player has it locked up at this point, but this is to me seems like it's going to be hard to come back from. Your opponent's at
It's
27.
looking it's
You,
looking very rough.
yeah. No, you will be able to block. So unless there's a way to remove the blockers, you'll get to go to the throne, part of the Undercity. But
The issue
still,
is that the issue is that the breaker has Annihilator. So like if you're it has Annihilator 2. So like if you're blocking, then that means you're sacrificing lands. And if you're sacrificing lands, then you're sacrificing lands and you're limiting your ability to play more threats. Um Also relevantly, you can't Palace Jailer Breaker of Creation. This thing basically is hexproof.
yeah, that's why I'm like I'm trying to think like you have like maybe this turn, maybe next turn to try to like come back into this game, but this is like okay, so we're going to get to do throne now, which is important
Mhm. Yeah.
because I
Also importantly, you can trade both the Pilgrim and the Undermountain for the Breaker.
yes.
Because Breaker is only an 8/4. It may be it may hit hard and it may have Annihilator too, but it is like not impossible to trade with.
Yeah, and I'd be
Uh
100% okay with converting two lands to get Breaker off the board.
yeah, for sure. Kind of interesting that you took White Plume off of the Throne trigger because we saw um Cathar Plume Spellbinder. Importantly, there was a Thalia in there. So he could have taken the Thalia off the throne and then first striked the Breaker to death.
That is true. Probably the thought process was probably that Thalia um, doesn't do anything in terms of the additional text. So, important part of that
Yeah,
card
that's
is that it has first strike.
yep. Like the non-creatures spells costing more definitely doesn't matter at this stage of the game. Um, I don't know. That's just something I would have maybe thought about. Is do you value the ability of Thalia to first strike the Breaker to death and not have you lose too much board presence? Okay, well,
That's pretty bad.
what about a second one? What about a second one? Yeah. Uh, I don't see how Saburo wins this game anymore. The second, maybe you could have beaten the first breaker, but the second breaker of creation, also with a trench post going, like, yeah, this is looking grim. It's looking very grim.
The White Plume is pretty huge.
Hmm. It still doesn't beat a breaker in combat though. It's they still trade. If it got another counter somehow, then maybe. But
But that's why
just being an 80.
I'm trying to think like what we could find Seasoned Dungeoneer.
Yeah, Dungeoneer would be probably the ideal card to see in this scenario.
Yeah,
Because
because
then you can start pressuring and also blocking the breaker.
yeah, it would block. It would be able to attack through the breaker because it gains protection. Um,
Hmm.
it winning the race, not so much. You would be able to block, and then you could trap. I mean, it's tough.
Yeah, especially since like Panda's at the life total where they could pretty much afford to be like, yeah, I'm just not blocking this white plume. I'm just gonna keep attacking with this breaker of creation and pressuring your permanence with Annihilator until you are forced to sacrifice the white plume.
So here's my question. Let's say right now breaker attacks. Are you blocking with White Plume?
I think you have to. Like this spellbinder uh, I think it depends. It depends on what your hand is, but like we've kind of seen that I think Saburo's hand is like kind of blanks. Um
Because you're not now you're
I
down
think
to
you
three
I think
lands.
I think you have to block. Yeah, yeah. I think you have to block. You have to block and accept you lose to any other bomb. If Panda plays a third breaker, okay,
An
Ostone.
O stone, okay.
Yeah. Honestly, not doing a whole lot on this board state. There's just a Spellbinder. He's just playing it out to represent the threat.
Well, at this point, I think that he actually has the win condition. They need to keep putting more things into play to get the life total down because that trench post is still like that's actually kind of winning this game.
It's definitely a clock. It's milling for 6 right now. Um,
He just doesn't have enough
Sometimes,
pressure in play yet.
yeah. Kind of put in a check scenario where it's like if you need to pressure me to get my life total down to kill me before I can mill you out, but also if you commit too much, then I get to pop this O stone and completely just win the game, lock the game up.
And there's a
So,
lot of draws too. I mean, a Thrag Tusk is insane here. A stage
oh,
is
Dave
crazy.
is also really good, yeah. Because now, yeah, now it's mill for. Oh, it was already mill for 5. I miscounted earlier. So yeah, mill for 6, and then this is mill for 12 next turn. So he's 2 turns away from killing. So Saburo has 2 turns.
Who's gonna
If my
draw a
math's right.
card? Because you got to remember, each turn is like -2 between the card draw, the draw from the initiative, and then it'll be card draw, and then assuming that there's a hit from throne.
Mm-hmm.
So even like another post land off the top is like it's funny to say a lot of pressure when we're talking about like milling your opponent out, but I mean that's a lot.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, because right now the trenches mill for the trenches together mill for 12. Another post land makes it 14. It's not quite lethal with the draw for turn. Oh, that's relevant. You can make the you can make the trench post cost 5, which doesn't really matter, but
Yeah,
okay,
but so you
yeah,
just blow it up anyway.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, you got the stones for it. Yeah, you're
So
right.
now you really don't have a whole lot of pressure. You can end up
Yeah.
milling them now, so then they only get
Hmm.
a couple looks at cards for throne.
Yeah. Even then, like, what could they possibly hit off throne that does anything?
Yeah, I don't think it matters at this point. I think this game's
Yeah.
locked up now.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think that Trench Post was the card that carried the match, not just a
Yeah.
game, but the
Yep.
whole match
Yep.
versus Initiative.
Yeah. Usually, yeah, I'm no stranger to getting built up by trench post, but usually that card comes in handy when you're playing against control. But like, yeah, this build packs enough like passive life gain and like stalling elements to where playing trench post is like a legitimate win condition,
All right, we
which
have
is
a
like
threat.
kind of crazy. All right, there's a threat.
We have a threat.
Threat online.
Now there's two
All
of them.
right, now there are 2 of them. Um. Okay, so this game's pretty much over, but we can head over to Heidel and Rusty are playing. So that is the blue-red discard aggro deck versus Sailor's Bane, I think. Should be really cool.
And that one's still going on.
I'm gonna pop in real quick and see.
Just catching the final mills
Uh,
here.
yes, it looks like they are. It is going on. Um,
It is going on.
yeah, it's going on. It looks like it's definitely game 2 or game 3. I would assume game 3, but I don't know. Rusty has 10 cards in deck.
Nice. I'm sure that
All
it was
right, cool.
not Trench Post related.
No, it's not Trench Post related. It's the fact that you're playing Banes and you've drawn a bazillion cards.
All right, so resolve this, do the thing, and float some mana, and that match goes to post. So once again, pretty insane ending to that with the Trench Post win. Now we're going to tune into the blue-red discard deck versus blue-white Bane. So, like Duke just mentioned, 10 cards in deck. They're both really low on resources, actually.
28 instants or sorceries or adventures in exile and graveyards, according to a Sailor's Maid in play.
What's the blue red? Is it Gandalf Sanction? That's like kill a thing equal to that instant and sorceries, and then like they take
Yeah,
damage equal to the excess.
yeah, yeah,
It's just spell
yeah.
trample.
Super Beacon Bolt, yeah. Oh, that's rough. Yeah, this game is looking very rough for Heidel on the discard deck. A Phoenix getting swords is truly sad, and not going to the graveyard.
So this is
Server just messaged the mod chat. How the fuck have I won a single match today? This deck should not be doing anything.
so this is our last match. So if this is game 3, once it's finished, we will know what our final standings are and what our top 8 cut is.
I think this one is wrapping up here. Heidel doesn't have a threat to really bestow the Phoenix. Ooh, Evora. So Evora's 1. Bestow Phoenix is 2-3. Crack Blood is 4.
Are there fiery tempers in this list?
No, there's no Fiery Tempers, but there are breakthroughs. So if Heidel goes... If Heidel has a breakthrough and Rusty doesn't have a counterspell, then he actually wins the game here. Because Escape Phoenix, exile Evora into Skyray onto Evora. That picks it to a 3-3. Then Breakthrough will basically say draw 4 cards, discard 4 cards, and then Evora will be a 7-7. And then, yeah, and then that's lethal. Now, he needs to dodge a removal spell and a counter spell. But looking at Russell's graveyard, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4. He's used all of his single target removal spells, I think.
Yeah, Russ was tanking there for a while with that on
Yeah,
the stack. So I'm guessing there's
yeah,
a counter spell and or a removal spell.
yeah. Oh, the Madness Anya's Ravager.
I don't think it's madness. I think it was just hard cast.
Yeah,
Oh, but he
there
got
it
there.
is.
So Rusty gets there. Sweet.
Damn.
Okay. So what we're going to
Wild.
do, I'm
I would
going
love to watch that full
to
match.
stop the recording and then restart it up for a separate top 8 vid. So we'll do stop recording
Sure.
here.